One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Y'all thought the game was over. Y'all thought the game was over. We don't kneel the ball, man. We run the score up. Max pressure, let's go. Let's go.
They was on the sideline, chatting on the timeline. Said I never break through, said I hit my decline. Said I didn't have a heart, said I didn't have a mind. Man, I'm about to lap them, leave them all behind. I saw them laughing, I saw them pointing. Now their faces twisted, looking disappointed. I don't feel no pity, I don't feel no care. I just feel the mission, I'm a grizzly bear. I'm a different monster, I'm a new machine. Fuel all the doubt, keep the engine clean. Every time I see them, every time they look, it's an extra rep. It's another hook, it's another jab, it's another play. Till they understand, we don't come to play, we just come to win. We just come to dominate. You can see the future, we the ones that nominated for the whole thing. We want all the smoke, we want all the rings. This is not a joke, we apply the pressure till the pipes burst. We was in the back, now we coming first. We gon' run it up, we gon' make them hurt. Max pressure, run the score up, no mercy. Tear the floor up.
See a hater, we go harder. 1 second on the clock, we just started.
Max pressure, run the score up, no pity. Tear the floor up.
They don't like it, tell them so what? We applying pressure till they all fold up.
1 second on the clock and we up by 40. I'ma call the play, I'ma tell them go for it. This ain't for the sport, this ain't for the statement. Show them we the ones that's running the pavement. We don't want a piece, man, we want the whole pot. We want the touchdown when the game should die. We want the home run when we up by 10. We gon' swing the bat again and again. Crush the competition till there's nothing left. We don't care about who we have bereft. This a hustle takeover, this a full court press. Put them on the stretcher, leave a bigger mess. They gon' wear the white flag, we gon' run right through it. They ask me why I do it, cause you said I couldn't do it. Now I'm on the gas, and I cut the brakes. I will not be stopped, whatever it takes. We want all the wins, we want all the glory. We the only ones that's gon' write the story. We want it all, we ain't about to share. Maximum pressure, we don't fight fair. We don't fight fair, we don't fight fair, we don't fight fair. Max pressure, run the score up, no mercy. Tear the floor up.
See a hater, we go harder. 1 second on the clock, we just started.
Max pressure, run the score up, no pity. Tear the floor up.
They don't like it, tell them so what? We applying pressure till they all fold up. They call me queen, but I'm really the whole team. Running this track, blowing off all the steam. You're looking tired, I ain't even break a sweat. This is max pressure, is it in your head? Yeah. Ha. I don't see no competition, I just see the prey. I'ma eat them all up, call it a buffet. You can see I'm shaking, you can see I'm scared. Cause they know my drive, they know I'm prepared. This ain't for the weak, this ain't for the soft. I'm the one who's blasting off like a rocket launch. Hitters on the ground, looking like ants. While I'm in the end zone, doing my dance. Watch me run the score up, it's the only way to play. Put them in the dirt, get them out the way. No pity, no remorse, no second thought. This is for the win that I went and bought. With the blood, with the sweat, with the time I spent. Now you looking stupid for the day you in and land. I'm the final boss on the last touchdown. I'm the home run swing when the game's downtown. 1 second left, I'ma take the shot. Cause I'd rather die than give up what I got.
Put it up, put it up, put it up. Game over. Y'all thought we was gonna stop. We ain't never stopping.
Max pressure, forever. Max pressure, forever. Max pressure.
Welcome. How is everyone doing today? I am so excited. All right, before we do anything, I have to give a huge shout out to my friend over at Cover to Code, the YouTube channel Cover to Code, Michael Jenkins. Shout out to Michael Jenkins. And his amazing co-host, Angela. But Mike gave me an amazing compliment yesterday that I was not expecting, but it meant the world to me. You know what? I'm gonna pull up their channel real quick, and I'm gonna drop it in the chat. But what Mike told me was, or he was saying it on his live stream, but he was saying that he used to listen to some he used to listen to some Ratchet T.I. song to get hyped up for when he had a meeting and stuff like that. But now he listens to this intro song, Max Pressure. I was like, what? Get the heck out of here. And in my heart, I was like, it meant the world to me. So let me, from cover to code. Let's see if I can find their channel. Boom, there it goes. There it goes, their channel right here. Let's go over here. Let's take a look at this like that. So there goes their channel over here from cover to code. They'll read a book, a tech book, and they will talk about it, and they will do the exercises in the book, stuff like that. And really amazing people, amazing channel. I'm going to drop it in the chat for you guys because you guys should definitely subscribe to their channel, tune in, and learn from these amazing IT people. They are very, very kind. Me and Angela though, we had a great interaction because the whole reason this came up, she was like, when I see any music on Spotify or something like that that's made with AI, I'm like, nope. She was like, when she sees a song with AI, she's like,
do not come.
And I was like, hold up, wait a minute. It's not, it's about the quality though. It's about the quality. And I'm like, I've made 4 AI albums and I am not forced to listen to what they have fed us. I'm able to create my own and the thoughts and expressions that I want, and it's not being force fed to me. I only listen to my AI music that I generate. So it was very fun. It was very, very fun. I'm dropping it in the chat for you guys to go and check out their channel. Amazing people. So just wanted to get that out of the way, but that's why I introed this show today with max pressure. Go Max, take it to the max. All that, right? So, all right. So just going to subscribe to the channel. Really good people over there, right? I have learned a lot from them and how they work, how they operate through the books and stuff. I am not much of a book person to learn this technical stuff. I'm more of a hands-on type person, but I like, and yesterday we did like a Who Wants to Be a Millionaire tech edition. So it was really cool. They're talking about AI right now. So really cool stuff, right? So, but I highly encourage you to go over and check out their channel. Now, tonight, we are going to be getting into looking for agentic AI quality assurance tools. So we've been having this, so it's this conversation starting to bubble up. If software engineers, they are starting to use agentic AI to write more code and to move faster, what happens to the boatload of code that we're going to be getting on a regular basis? So that like, what do we do about it? How do we still continue to push it efficiently and not become the bottleneck, and how to not ship crappy software? And there's been a lot of like manual type ideas that the engineers should do this, engineers should do that. We can do this process based. And I said, well, you know what? Why should the engineers have all of the fun? Are there any good agentic QA tools out there so that we can be more efficient as well? So tonight we're going to go on a quest. We're going to go on a mission. We're going to go on a software exploration to look for agentic AI QA tools, to see if there's any good ones out there. Maybe this show, if we get into like trying them out, look, we're going to look for open source. We're going to look for SaaS models, whatever. And if we're able to find something, try it out, see how it's going to work for us, then bring it back to the business and say, hey, I found this. I want to try it out. Can we prototype it? The engineers are having all the fun. What about us? Can we come to the party too? So that is the goal for tonight. We are also going to be talking about, we didn't get to finish the show the other day, right? Because our internet exploded. It was like, my internet told me the other day.
How dare we speak Merry Christmas?
I was like, you know what? I've had enough. It was like 30 minutes. Things weren't like, I had enough. It was going to be a great show as well. All right. So I was like, so we're going to talk about Jensen Huang on AI computing. We're going to be talking about Meta and Amazon and other tech companies making their performance reviews much more difficult for their employees. What does that mean? And someone said that they were loyal. They held this company down. for 7 years, 7 whole years. And now they regret it. So that is the goal for today. That's what we're gonna be talking about. Hopefully we don't have any internet issues, knock on wood or on something, I don't know. So that's the goal. So like I said, AI QA tools and the break time topics. That's the goal for today, right? Let's do a little bit of housekeeping before we get into any of that. Shout out to every single person who has subscribed to the channel. I appreciate you so much for allowing me to add value. Yesterday I released a video about how to get into identity and access management in 2026, dropping some gems of how I would do it. Someone already left me a comment like, oh wow, that's a genius idea. Let me try that for this other course that I'm doing. I'm like, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. So I am just sharing with you guys my strategies. I see that people are finding that video valuable, so hopefully you do. Go check it out. But for everyone who has subscribed, who allows me to add value into your lives, I just have to let you know that thank you so much for allowing me to spend a little bit of time with you. Whether it's like 30 seconds and you find it valuable, thank you so much, all right? Shout out to my tech barbarians, the tried and true people. We work so hard. Shout out to my guy, Junior. He's telling me, I can already see the comments right now about him setting up the back end for his photography website. We spoke about that at Vibe Coding Show. You definitely want to check that out. But that's the type of stuff that we do with my tech barbarians. We make each other better. We push each other to get better ideas, better strategies. I mean, we work so hard. We have, I posted the Scrum Night from not this past weekend, but the weekend before that, because I'm just showing you how everyone gets involved. Everyone has their hand in the pie, making the pie. I don't know. I don't know the analogy to use, right? But you know what I mean. You know what I mean. So everyone is involved. So you can go and check that out. But my tech barbarians, whether we do Vibe Code and Chill, whether they're part of the team for building applications, which I'm going to touch on in a little bit, for our icebreaker, I am so proud of every last one of them. And that's why we are the very best. And of course, shout out to my tech mercenaries, the YouTube channel members who allow this channel to go across the world. The world. There are people all over the world who are finding value because of you, because you make this available, allowing me to continue to come on here day in and day out, give you guys content every single day to make you better, make you stronger. From the bottom of my heart to every last one of you.
I appreciate you.
We are the best. There is no one better. We are not dusty. I mean, I might be a little dusty right now because we've been doing a remodel in the bathroom and there's dust everywhere, but that is a different type of dust. That is a different type of dust, right? We win. We are winners. We are winners. We breed winners. Regardless of our past, we're moving forward. We're always moving forward. We are moving forward with purpose. With purpose. It's either purpose or we don't want it at all. We don't want it at all. That's why we have to go out there and get it.
Let's get it.
All right. So, tomorrow we are going to be releasing our episode of the Bug Bite, which is about, what is the Bug Bite about tomorrow? It's a good one too. It is about Uber. If you guys saw the video that I dropped today, it was about Uber, a case in Arizona. A case in Arizona that they were going to court for, being sued civilly because could Uber be held liable for SA, for a driver assaulting a passenger, a rider? Well, tomorrow we're going to be reviewing the verdict. The verdict. What was Uber's verdict? Will Uber be held liable for the delinquency of their drivers? Tune in tomorrow, noon Eastern time. It's gonna be a good one. It is going to be a good, because I have some hot takes on that one. So those are all the announcements. We're gonna be going live on Sunday as well for our speech coaching app, and then we're going to be doing a Scrum Night which is already scheduled in the Patreon on Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Looking forward to seeing every single last one of you there. All right, I am going to jump in the chat really quick, and then we're gonna get into our icebreaker. Right. So first and foremost, we got my guy Junior in the building. Hit with the what's up, coach. What up, Junior? How is it going? Hopefully, all right, I'm not gonna go hopefully. I know your day is absolutely fantastic. So shout out to my guy Junior for having that wonderful, one of these days though, one of these days, Junior's gonna say, my day is like 1 degree under fantastic. And on that day, I'm gonna be like, it's gonna be like one of these. Maybe one of these. What happened? And he's gonna say, oh, you know, I crashed my drone into a tree, and one of the propellers broke. So I have to get another propeller. I'm like, oh, see that would be like Junior's like less than fantastic. Oh, you know, but other than that, Junior has a fantastic day all day, every day. All right. So shout out to my guy Junior. Let's get it. Junior also says that 80 to review to a guy who was laid off for months. That might be a nice video for you to review and give your take. He is a tech guy. Honestly, I don't like doing people, like let's say somebody posts a video on their website or on their channel. I don't like doing individual reviews because especially let's say if my review is going to be like you're running in the Victim Olympics, blah 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 view. And I don't like to do those personal reviews, even if it might be true. Now, when people like when we're reviewing stuff on like CNBC and we're reviewing stuff on CNBC, we're reviewing stuff on Yahoo, like for example, the young lady who moved to Bahrain, it was on CNBC making, so let me check that one out, right? But I generally don't like reviewing people who are, especially when they're talking about all the mistakes that they made. I'm like, and especially like, I try to avoid talking about people running in the Victim Olympics so that negative energy doesn't rub me the wrong way. Because at the end of the day, I don't care, right? I don't care. And I just want to have a good night's sleep. I'm not trying to end up on somebody's neck. See, if I end up on a positive thumbnail like Dame Smith, shout out to my guy Dame Smith. It's all good, but I don't want to end up on somebody's negative Nancy thumbnail. Like, oh my god, and then they're gonna pop up on somebody on some dusty live stream talking about, oh, you know, Taco Trump, he said this and he said that, and he's this and he's that. I'm like, okay.
I'm in a bind, Nate.
So that's why I generally avoid those TikTok reviews and those YouTube reviews, because I just want I would like some YouTube money, but that's not my top priority. My top priority are these apps that we're building. It's these apps, and getting my tech barbarians to market these apps effectively, or one of them, my marketing tech barbarian to market it effectively, so that we can be rolling in the money. More money. So that's why you see me. I try to avoid that stuff because I just don't care about people that much. I just don't care about people that much.
How dare you?
Sorry. Drew says, I want to finish up the backend on my photography website, and Lovable said, do not come.
Do not come.
They said, come back on March 1st. We're like halfway through February. If I had the capability of sending you some credits, because I have so many credits right now that I have not used, I would do so in a heartbeat. They don't allow sharing credits. You know, it's not like roll over minutes. So if I could, I would, Junior. If I could, I would. We got my guy Rod Brown in the building. What sound does the Stream Deck make? How does the Stream Deck sound like? How does it sound when you don't ask tech coach Ralph for help? I'm just, all right. You don't have to give you a hard time. You know I had to give you a hard time, Rod Brown. It says, must feel good to be using your street. It feels phenomenal. Jason, that makes sense. That's I just want peace and happiness for myself. I don't care about everybody else, right? I just want peace and happiness for myself. If other people have it, good for them. If they don't, good for them. I just want it for myself. Cause I ain't trying to be end up on people's lives, and they're like, oh, because Coach Ralph, he was so mean to me. He was so mean. Oh my God.
How dare you?
How dare we speak Merry Christmas?
All right, so I just be chilling. I'm unavailable. I am unavailable, right? You know how it goes. You know how it goes.
To make things.
Yeah. Alarm clock scream, oh. Yeah. Alarm clock screaming. Man, it's 4 a.m. Sun ain't even thinking. I'm already in. Hit the iron clinking. Beast mode fully activated. Mind is sharp, I'm on fast. There ain't no time to crash. Quick rinse, hit the box. Sign the price, I'm heating up. Clear the mind, get the toxins out. I'm leveling up. By the time you're waking up, I'm already past the peak. Got my first dub before you even brush your teeth. Logging 9 to 5, yeah, the normal job. Software dead before them. I'm a high prop, software killer, coke emitter, pull request it clean. But that's just the warmer, know what I mean? Don't you hit my phone, man, I'm not available. Every minute on my schedule's unassailable. I don't got the time, man, I'm on a mission. You see a busy schedule, I see ammunition. I love this damn grind, I don't need a break. You can sleep on me, I'll be wide awake. Got no vacancy, my calendar is locked. I'm obsessed with winning, man, I'll never be stopped.
See, I'm unavailable. I am unavailable for none of that stuff. I just be chilling. I just be chilling. All right, I'm just saying. I am just saying. All right. Let me see. What else we got? I understand, but I still end up on the Hebrew Israelites thumbnails. The bruise. Rod Brown. I got a name for you know how they got Drewski? Should call them the Brewskis. I still end up on the Brewskis thumbnails.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
And you haven't said anything about them you haven't not said anything about them in a while. But it is what it is. Hey, they blew you up though. Rod Brown, you owe a large portion of your success to the Brewskis. Bruh. So be thankful, right? Be thankful. It says, Junior says, the only reason I thought about it was for you to speak on jobs in the tech field and what they look for when they hire. I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look up the video that AD did, and I'll consider it. I will consider it because I didn't see that video that you're referring to, because sometimes I'm listening, but I'm not watching, and AD drops like 100 videos a day. So it's a little hard to keep up sometimes. All right. So I'll take a look at it. I will take a look at it. Hey, Rod Brown sitting over there like,
So that was cute.
Flawless victory.
Oh my God. All right. Let's get into enough fun and games. Enough fun and games. All right. Gotta get to work. You guys remember the Freshman's episode? It says, Will, can you be serious for once? All right. So let's jump into our icebreaker. Right? So let's go like this. Not this one. Let's go to this one. It says, go with. Do you feel that you are not valued? Could this be the reason why? So here's the thing, right? I'm gonna go at it from two angles. One angle is, so as a QA engineer, I have seen so many different QA posts, right, on Reddit, and one of the biggest sentiments that QAs generally have is that they do not feel valued by the engineers, by the product managers, by whoever, by the company, whatever, right? They're always saying, I don't feel valued. I don't feel valued. I do so much work. I work so hard and I'm testing and I'm doing this, but I just don't feel valued, right? So, and this could be probably applied to a lot of things outside of tech, but here's my question. Could this be the reason why a lot of people do not feel valued? Because the person or the people, the group of people, the company, whoever that you believe that you are adding value to, although you might be adding what you perceive as value, you're not adding the value that they actually need. Bars. Could it be the value that you're adding is not the value that they're looking for? So let's take for QA, for example, right? So if you're just doing your quote unquote job and you're good at it, but what kind of value are you looking for when you're doing the job that they're paying you for? What is it that they struggle with? What is it that they're looking for? Have you ever asked the question? In whatever role that you're in, to the people that you work with? What could I do to add more value to you, to the team, to the organization? What are you guys struggling with? What are the gaps that in my role I could look to fill? What have you volunteered to do? What have you offered to do? Because the mentality of most people is, and I've heard this a million times, well, that's not my job. Well, that's not my job. Well, that's not my job. Well, if you're going to be a stickler for your job, then you should be okay with when they don't show you any appreciation for. Why should they show you appreciation for you doing what they're paying you to do? Is that fair? If I'm paying you what we agreed the payment would be, right? If I'm paying you the salary that we agreed upon, why do you also look for me to like quote unquote value outside of what if you're doing something other that the team finds valuable, then if you're pushing it to the limit, then that's a different story. And when you are actually adding the value that matters to them, they're going to tell you. And if you are away, they're going to be like, oh man, this is tough because this person isn't here. Right? So if you feel that you are not adding value or that you're not valued, the question is, are you actually adding value? And you can apply that to anything, to any type of relationship. Oh, I'm not valued. Well, the question is, are you adding the type of value that person needs? Is that a fair question? And now I'm going to segment into my other point, right? So when I am coaching my tech barbarians, based on what their goals are, what they're looking to do, I will put them in the position to do something that is meaningful for them, that is going to push them further, that is going to challenge them. And you can see when people have that sense of responsibility, how they value it, how it means something important to them. Because I'll give you an example, right? One of my tech barbarians that and we they've been a tech barbarian for a few months now, but our interactions have not been as consistent as I would want them to be, because they were very busy and stuff like that. But I said, you know what? Here's what I'm gonna do for us to have a regular interaction. I'm gonna put you, because right now what you're working in is not the full scope of how this field works. So I'm gonna put you in the position to work on one of the projects, and you're gonna have responsibilities. You're gonna be part of the sprints. You're gonna be part of like the day-to-day processes. And every 2 weeks, you're gonna have something to deliver and to talk about, and to so that you can participate. And I will tell you this: as soon as we got started, created the story, gave it, put it to them on the sprint. They're like, oh, I need this. Oh, I need that. You didn't give me this access. You didn't give me that access. Oh, can you do this? Can you do that? And it's like, I can see, I haven't spoken to them one-on-one yet since I gave them the access, but I can already see the light starting to shine in them, and that excitement of, oh yeah, I'm going to do mobile testing. I'm going to do web testing. I'm going to get to work with Docker. I'm going to work with all these technologies. And the same thing for another one of my tech barbarians. I say, okay, I'm going to put you on this project on the coaching portal. Right. And it's like, oh, okay, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And I can see their mind being stimulated. And I said, if you see something that doesn't look right, give the like, don't hesitate to give your suggestion, to give your input, to give your insight. You're because you are valued. And when people are put to work in whatever it is, whatever that work is, right? When they like, a lot of people, and I think this is part of the problem, right? When people define what they find as valuable, let me take that back. I know this is the problem. When you define what is valuable, and you say, oh, this is the value that I bring, and other people's like, well, I don't find that valuable. Then you get upset. You get offended.
How dare you?
How dare you don't find valuable what I tell you is valuable? And I'm like, okay, it's valuable to you. So if you're going to be looking in the mirror and say, look in the mirror and says, oh, that thing that you did is very, very, very valuable to an army of one, then great. But if you want other people to find you valuable, then you have to do things that they actually value. And it starts off with like either conversation or collaboration. I'll give you an example. I tried to offer value to my dear beloved brother Rod Brown, and he told me
do not come.
And then when he pressed the button on his Stream Deck, the Stream Deck told him,
do not come.
So all I'm saying is, if you feel that you are not valued in the workplace, in the home, in the relationship, in the friendship, on the team, whatever. Let's say you're on a basketball team, and you feel like you don't bring any value, but they want you to make 3-pointers, right? Or get rebounds, whatever. And you want to be the point guard. You're like let's say it's like what do you call it? A men's league or whatever, where you play at the local gym, not at the gym that those coaches were renting out illegally that another one's been arrested for, not at that gym, but in one of those leagues, and you're like, let's say 6'2", and you're like 300 pounds, and you want to be the point guard on the team, and the team's like, no, we want you to get the rebounds, right? And you're like, no, but I'm the point guard. You're like, no, you are our center. Or a power forward at least, right? And you're like, no, I am the point guard, and you want to dribble down the court, going at like half a mile per hour, and then you pull up at the logo and you shoot a 3, and it looks like Carlton's 3-pointer. It looks like one of these. Let me show you one of these. Carlton basketball. Let me see. It ends up looking like one of these.
Oh my God!
you end up pulling one of those off, then you did not add value to the team. What was Carlton's value and all the other players' value on the team? They had one. You had one job. What was the job on the team? Very easy. Pass it to Will. Four words. Pass it to Will. And what did you do? How did you lose your value? Why were you not valuable? Because you wrestled. See, perfect example. Carlton wanted the value to be what he defined the value to be, and not what the team, what the coach, because what the coach wanted to do, they wanted to win. As long as you pass it to Will, you could be on the team. Carlton said, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. On the final shot for whatever important game that it was, he stole the ball from his own teammate. And he did a football pass or a baseball pass, Hail Mary, at the rim or at the gym door, and he lost the value. He had value when he passed it to Will, but he didn't like that value. He didn't like the value that was given to him, that was assigned to him. He wanted to create his own value, and he failed miserably. So if you feel that you are not valued, could it be because you want people to value you the way that you believe you add value and not the way that they would like you to add value, not in what they actually need? Think about it. Think about it, all right? Let me know your thoughts in the comments about that. Let me know, do you feel undervalued as a QA engineer, as a software engineer, as a whatever it is that you do? Whatever it is that you do you feel undervalued? And have you ever considered the perspective that I shared? Have you ever considered this perspective? If not, it might be a you problem. It might be a you problem. All right. Anyways, let's get back to the chat before we get into our first segment of work. Let me see. Junior says, no need for you to do a review. Junior says, you don't get credit for doing what you are supposed to.
How dare you?
I will not be ignored, Junior. I will not be ignored for doing what I was hired to do. You know. Let me see. Junior says, Luke 7:10 out of the King James version that Rod Brown refuses to use says, so likewise, ye, when ye shall have done all those things which are commanded you, say, we are unprofitable servants. We have done that which was our duty to do. Facts. Let them know, dear. Let them know. All right. Am I right or am I right? All right. So we are going to jump into our first segment of work for tonight, which is, are there any good agentic quality assurance tools out there? So here's the rundown, right? So we hear about these Claude Code, about anti-gravity, about Gemini CLI. Let me put up 20 minutes.
It's time to do.
We have anti-gravity, we have Cursor, we have Windsurf, we have this and we have that, we have Lovable, all of these tools. But have we heard about any quality assurance tools to coincide with the software development tools? There was somebody who reached out to me sometime last year on LinkedIn, and I tried to reach back out to them, right? And here is the foolishness, I would say, the foolishness of these people. I'm like, I would like to try out your tool on my live streams so that I can see if this is something viable that I can talk about, I can bring into my company. And they're like, no, it's just for enterprise. I'm like, well, if no enterprise really know your stuff, then cool, whatever. I'm like, cool. I am not going to force you to let me research your tool to see if I can bring it to my company, if I can bring it to my audience. Do what you do, all right? So now I am going to go on a quest, on a mission, on an adventure to see what are our options, right? But I'm going to use Gemini though to start, because I did a quick Google search and a lot of sponsored stuff, but I want to see what our options are. You know, I want to see where we can go with that. All right. So we're going to go and jump over into our dear friend, Google Gemini. And I'm going to say, so let's start off with, there are a lot of agentic software development tools such as CLIs, IDEs, etc. for software engineers and delivering code faster. However, one of the concerns is quality and testing validation and the bottleneck that it might bring if we continue to do QA the same old way. Even with automation tests, we might start to get flooded with PRs that are using agentic dev tools, but which will cause more delays if we continue to manual test and manually write our automation test to validate this, all of these code changes. So I want to go with, I would like to find out what are the options to optimize the QA process, what big companies are doing, and what recommended agentic QA tools are available, whether open source or SaaS. All right, so that's what I want. That is what I want. Let me see. Send the text real quick. All right, so what did they tell us? So they said the surge in agentic development tools like GitHub, Copilot, Workspace, Devon, and various CLI agents have indeed created a quality gap. When code is generated at agentic speeds, traditional manual-heavy QA becomes the primary bottleneck, often leading to PR congestion and automation debt. To optimize your process, you need to transition from scripted automation to agentic QA, where testing isn't just automated, but it's autonomous. Okay, I'm liking that. How big tech is optimizing QA in 2026. Large organizations like Amazon, Microsoft, NVIDIA are moving away from the tester as a scripter model towards quality orchestration. That's something that I thought about yesterday when we were having this conversation. I'm like, if didn't I have a video about orchestration? Let me see. I thought I had a video about orchestration recently. Let's go to, I have so many videos though. Let's go videos. I thought I had a video about orchestration. No. Oh, there it goes. AI agent 2 months ago. AI agent engineer. There we go. Yeah, that's the one about orchestration. Very good. Very good video. Very. You guys don't know what you're missing. You guys don't know what you're missing on that video. So it's the blue. It is the blueprint. A tighter blueprint than Jay-Z's blueprint. All right. I'm just saying. Follow my blueprint, not Jay-Z's blueprint. I mean, he is a billionaire, but my tech. All right. Never mind. Scratch that. All right. Let's go back over to here. And it says that large organization. All right. So shift left with AI assisted design. Instead of waiting for code to be finished, agents analyze requirements / user stories and generate test cases before a single line of code is written. I love that. I really love that. Self-healing pipelines. When a UI change breaks a test, for example, a button ID change, AI agents are at companies like BrowserStack or Microsoft autonomously heal the test by reasoning through the DOM accessibility tree rather than filling the build. So that's definitely. So I personally don't work that much in UI automation and stuff like that, but I'm sure we can figure something out, and other teams would definitely love that. Risk-based execution. Instead of running a 4-hour regression suite for every PR, big teams use AI to analyze the blast radius of a code change and execute the relevant 5% of the test suite. What? I'm telling you, these are the conversations that I was having today. Everything that is talking about now, I was thinking, you know what? If we could find a way to do this, and if other teams are already doing it, then we are in business. So, lastly, synthetic data generation. Using large language models to generate realistic, non-sensitive, personal PPI. What is personal identification something, right? Data on the fly to unblock testing and staging environments. Perfect. So, recommended Agentic QA tools in 2026. SaaS platforms, AI native. They have Mechanism Mechanism.ai, contextual reasoning, uses large language models to understand the intent of a page. You write tests in plain English. It handles the execution and self-healing. I don't know. Virtuoso QA, robotic process discovery, can transform BDD specifications or user stories directly into executable journeys without code. So maybe. Test rigor. Plain English automation. Automation allows non-technical stakeholders to build complex end-to-end tests using natural language. That's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Says Mabel, low maintenance end-to-end. Features auto generation of tests. If a UI element shifts, the agent fixes the script in the background. I don't know. Let's see what they have. See, I'm not liking the options. Like what it says up here, it is absolutely phenomenal. What I'm seeing down here is where it is to be desired. So I have an idea what I'm going to do though, right? Open source. Evo Master, API fuzzing, automatically generates test cases for REST and GraphQL by exploring the API to find crash. That one sounds pretty interesting. Playwright agents, do-it-yourself agentic path. Developers are increasingly wrapping Playwright with large language model agents to perform vibe testing, visual logic checks. I'm sure that could be helpful. Evo Suite, JUnit generation. Uses evolutionary algorithms to generate Java test suites that maximize code coverage automatically. And then Atheris, coverage-guided fuzzing, a Google-maintained fuzzer for Python that finds security vulnerabilities and crashes autonomously. So far, I like this one. All right, so let's look at this. Strategic shifts for your QA process. To prevent your PRs from flooding, consider these 3 optimizations. Autonomous test authoring. Stop manually writing every script. Use tools like Virtuoso or Mechanism, where the agent generates the how-to based on your what-to. Now, this also leads to something very, very good, because if we can get clearer acceptance criteria, then these tools are going to have an easier job writing out it. And the thing is, it should be looking at the code base, looking at connected code bases, looking at the user story to write the proper test based on all of these criterias. AI-powered code review. Implement agents like Codium AI or Bloop that act as a first-pass QA on PRs, checking for logic flaws and edge cases before a human even looks at the code. Okay. Visual AI over functional selectors. It says move away from brittle CSS selectors. Tools like Apply-Tool use visual AI to verify look and feel, which is much more resilient to the rapid UI changes agentic dev tools often produce. As someone who manages a project like Resume Flow and Interview Prep Assistant, you might find that integrating an agentic layer in your CI/CD like GitHub Actions, you run sanity checks on every agent-generated PR will save you hours of manual validation. Would you like me to help you design a GitHub action that incorporates one of these agentic tools for your current projects? So, let me go back. All right, so what I want to do is let's start off with this one, right? Because I think this might be one of the big ones. I want to start off with, I want to focus on, I'm not even going to consider these tools yet. I want to do a deeper dive into these, not even this one as much, but these three, right? I think I'm going to start off with, I think to me, honestly, right now, this is going to be the biggest one, right? And then I would go with this one. So these two, I'm starting my investigation with these two, right? So I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to say, I would like to explore how we could implement risk-based execution. This seems like it would provide the most and quickest value to the team as we have a plethora of tests. We have API tests in each repository, and we also have an integration test repository across that spans across various that tests the functionality across repos, right? So what I'm doing here, I am doing a term from cybersecurity, from penetration testing, reconnaissance. I am investigating how we could, and I say we, I mean myself, my tech barbarians, and at work, how we can implement this first strategy that should help us reduce a lot of time in execution. And then we can tweak it. This is like, you have to do this research. I could do it at work, but if I'm doing it on my own time, this research, this knowledge belongs to me. And then I can do the implementation at work. And I get to, and I get to share with my friends my mind, how I think. See, I can't do this while I'm at work. I can't do a live stream while I'm at work from my work computer. I did though. I did think about, I wonder if I could just stream all day to my company from my company. But that's a whole other story. Anyway, I digress. All right, so implementing risk-based execution, also known as predictive test selection, is the most effective way to solve the agentic PR flood you're experiencing. Since you have both pre-repo API tests and cross-repo integration, you can optimize both layers to run only the blast radius of a change. The strategy, predictive text selection. The goal is to move from static triggers, run everything on every PR, to dynamic triggers, run what matters. How it works. With your architecture in each repo API test, the AI analyzes the code, changes in the controller, and maps it to specific API endpoints. It then pulls the 5% of tests that touch those endpoints. Integration repo. This is where the real blast radius analysis happens. The tool identifies which downstream service consumes the modified API via contract analysis or historical failure data, and triggers only those integration flows. So, recommended agentic tools and AI tools for PTS, not post-traumatic stress. No. But for what it stands for, predictive test selection, right? So for the SaaS, the big tech experience, right? Launchable, predictive selection, co-founded by the creator of Jenkins. What? Look at that. It uses machine learning to rank tests by probability of failure based on historical PR data. It integrates perfectly with GitHub Actions. Nice. Develocity, not Devil, honestly, but Devel. See, because I'm telling you, if I say Develocity, those who are listening to me like, what? What? Is this a satanic tool? What? And then I'm going to end up on a Rod Brown segment. I'm going to end up on a Rod Brown segment talking about, look at Tech Coach Ralph using these satanic tools to do. He's already using AI and falling in love with large language models. Now he's gone fully to the dark side using these satanic Develocity tools. And then he's gonna try to play one of his sound effects. He's gonna press a button and it's gonna sound like, right? So, like I said, Develocity, build intelligence. If your product uses Java or Kotlin, their predictive test selection can cut times by up to 90% by analyzing previous runs and code changes. Then we have Parasoft TIA microservices, specifically designed for test impact analysis across microservices. It can track how a change in repo A affects. Ooh, that one sounds good. All right. Now, open source and DIY options, right? Says Kaploy says agentic API testing. Right, instead of writing tests, Kaploy records API interactions and generates them. It can intelligently play back only the relevant recorded tests based on the code paths change. And test impact analysis, TIA, with Playwright and Jest. We don't use that. Tools like Jest change files provide a basic version of this. For a more agentic approach, you can use a custom script that uses large language models to map code changes to test files by reading your OpenAI spec or proto file. Ooh, interestingly enough, we just implemented or just started implementing open API specs. All right. Well, you know what that means. You know what that means. It is break time. All right. I'm going to check the chat and then we will get to our first break time topic. So Junior's like devilish code.
How dare we speak Merry Christmas?
Oh my God, we got Cartier 82 in the building. What's up, everyone? Finally caught a live stream. Welcome. Shout out to Cartier 82. You are very, very well appreciated in these streets. All right. So our first break time topic of today is Jensen Huang, API. What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Hold on, give me a second. Let me fix that. We're gonna try that all over again. Right? API. Who needs an API when we have AI, right? I'm just kidding. Don't take me serious, right? But let's do that again, all right? So Jensen Huang, AI will fundamentally change computing. Yes, it will.
More money, more money, more money.
Let's go ahead and check out this interview with our dear friend Jensen Huang, my spirit CEO.
It's an interesting time to have you, obviously, which any time is, but especially given what's been happening within the market. Today looks a lot different than the last couple of days have. The market obviously concerned with what's happening on the spending side of the hyperscalers and this big build out in AI. What's your take from that, the way the market continues to react to this?
Demand is sky high, and there's a fundamental reason for that. We're in the once-in-a-generation infrastructure build-out. This is the largest infrastructure build-out in human history, and there's a fundamental reason for that. Artificial intelligence is going to fundamentally change how we compute everything. Everything from database processing, the way we do search, the way we do recommender systems, the way you shop, the way you watch movies, and of course, these new agentic systems that are being developed and evolved. This last year, we saw an inflection point in AI. AI became super useful. No longer hallucinating, it's generating informed content, it's reasoning, it's thinking, it's doing research, it's able to use tools. All of a sudden, AI over the last couple of years went from being curious to super useful. The inflection point also came with it, profitable tokens. Anthropic is making great money. OpenAI is making great money. If they could have twice as much compute, the revenues would go up 4 times as much. I mean, literally, these guys are so compute constrained, and the demand is so incredibly great. The number of enterprise users, the number of consumer users, the number of startups that are being built on top of these companies, it's just going through the roof.
So when you see numbers that are, frankly, remarkable, that $660 billion this year will be spent by the hyperscalers as we continue to learn, like we did from.
I'll say this too. This goes back to what I was saying about value and about adding value. The reason that people are in a frenzy, why the market is in a frenzy about AI and just saying, oh, there's not going to be any software engineers in 6 to 12 months, right? But here's the question. Is it because they're going to have a different title? Are they going to be software orchestrators? Because guess what? I'm going to tell you this right now, right? My product manager, he's not going to do the work that the engineers do. Because why do the engineering work if you also have to do the work of talking to stakeholders and trying to sell, like, oh, finding out what's valuable, talking to stakeholders, all this type of stuff, creating roadmaps on it's not easy. Prompting, as you guys have seen, as Junior told us today, prompting, it's work. Lovable told him already today.
Do not come.
Because he ran out of credits to prompt. So now, is it that we're not going to have software engineers because we're going to have software orchestrators, where it's going to be more like a puzzle system where you're like taking things here, taking things there. At the end of the day, what is an engineer? You are building things. So you're still going to be building. You might not be writing code as much as you used to. And the problem that I have with these CEOs is that they associate software engineers with just being coders and just being typers, writing lots of lines of code. When no, setting up infrastructure, doing research, looking for compatibility, looking for strategy. Because you can ask AI for insight. One thing that I've learned, I have asked AI for a lot of ideas and starting points, but then once I get, I'm like, okay, now I want this, now I want that, now I want this, now I want that. So a lot of it still becomes your insight, your creativity, even if you're getting an assistant. No one can do it alone. But one thing that it fixes, before you didn't have any help. Now you have a friend in Jesus and in AI. All right, I'm just saying.
Flawless victory.
I'm just being honest.
Just being honest.
Amazon last night. You sit back and think to yourself, that's completely justified based on what you see?
It is appropriate and sustainable. And the reason for that is because all of these companies
from Amazon
companies is just going through the roof.
So when you see numbers that are frankly remarkable, that $660 billion this year will be spent by the hyperscalers as we continue to learn, like we did from Amazon last night. You sit back and think to yourself, that's completely justified based on what you see?
It is appropriate and sustainable. And the reason for that is because all of these companies' cash flows are going to start rising. You know, people are comparing it to cash flows. One of those numbers are wrong. It's just the cash flow is wrong. We are addressing the largest software opportunity in history. For the very first time, software is not just a tool. A tool is like Excel. Now software uses tools. So these AIs use Excel. And so I think the opportunity for this new era of software is incredible. And we're seeing it already moving the earnings of Meta. Nobody uses AI better than Meta. And so if you look at the way that they're using AI, AI went from a classical recommender system running on CPUs to now a generative AI, agentic system that's making recommendations. Everything from the way social media works and the way they recommend ads and help advertisers create content has fundamentally been changed. And their earnings show it. And that's the reason why they're investing so hard. They see just a much larger future potential for it. And not just one company. This is going to affect...
And I'll ask you this, right? I'll start off with Rod Brown. When you incorporate AI into your content creation workflow, does that help you go faster or does it slow you down? I will say, for me, as a content creator, I have accelerated my workflow because the actual content that I still put out is still my content. But getting title ideas, getting descriptions for the videos, keywords, generating the thumbnails. You don't have to spend, like, back then, to put out a quality video, you're probably looking at like once a week, twice a week, if like you're dedicated to it, because you have to record the video, come up with the content, right? Then you got to come up with the title. Then if you're not a designer, you have to figure out how to create a good thumbnail or have somebody do it for you. I've seen a service that they will generate thumbnails for you and they give you a certain amount of credits, right? But the cost is like $30 a month. If you had a graphic designer creating your thumbnails for you, that would be at that quality. For every thumbnail, like maybe $10, $20 a pop back in the days. So now let's go to my guy Magnetar. Welcome. Has learning math accelerated? Have you been able to learn going through your math courses faster with more understanding? Or have they been slower? And you started incorporating ChatGPT, MathGPT, Gemini into your learning workflow. All right, let's go to Junior. You're like the things that you've built. For example, the prayer app, the first one that you built, and now the photography website. Would you have even tried to, here's the question. Would you have even ever tried to do that without AI? So the opportunity that it unlocks, and we are just like regular people using these tools. So now if you put this into the hand of super savvy coders and stuff like that, and that's what I told you, I am seeing the engineers adopting it more happily now. And now I see the possibility, and that's why we're doing this research on this live, because now that they're actually starting to like it and adopt it, it is going to be crazy. All right.
AWS is shopping and the way they recommend goods. This is going to affect how Microsoft's enterprise software works. Every single company sees the same inflection point, and that's why everybody's leaning in so hard.
I feel like that's the point that it's an interesting point. It sort of turns the way you need to think about these businesses on its head. That if you're just fixated on the spending side, as you were talking earlier about, oh, they're spending such a huge portion of their free cash flow, you're kind of missing the story. The market needs to get its arms around that. You as well as an investor?
Yes. If you turn the clock back, Scott, to 2008, 2009, right? Amazon could have taken their profits and sent them back to us by way of dividends. Instead, Jeff Bezos said, I'm going to invest in this thing called AWS. Think of it as digging a gold mine. You have to spend a lot of money to dig the gold mine before you get the gold out. These guys are digging the biggest gold mine in the history of software, right? But it costs something up front. Now the question is, do you believe Andy Jassy and Mark Zuckerberg and Sundar and Jensen that this opportunity is that big, or do you have a special insight that causes you to understand there's no gold in the bottom of the gold mine? As an investor, I'll just tell you this: I want my personal net worth, I want my fund's net worth levered against AI, because all human progress is going to be derived from machines helping humans think and augment human thinking. And so whether it's owning NVIDIA, which is our largest public position, or whether it's Anthropic or OpenAI, all of these companies are going to be tremendous beneficiaries, and they're doing it at scale. There are increasing advantages to scale, right? And so I think it's hard for people to get their arms around now, just like it was in 2008 and 2009. But thank God Jeff Bezos did that. Now it's a $140 billion business, generating $30 billion a year in annual profits that people criticized him for investing in back then.
It's incredible that OpenAI and Anthropic are $20 billion run rate companies, generating profitable revenues and accelerating growth all at the same time. These are extraordinary things, and it makes perfect sense from where we sit.
How can we be so certain that the amount of compute we think we'll need, and that we continue to hear from CEOs like you that we will need, is actually going to come to fruition? Isn't it inevitable that we're going to, at some point, overdo it, but we're not going to know that until it's too late?
It's not like roads. Roads, once you lay it down, it stays fairly useful for a long time. The way computers work is you build up the infrastructure, but then you start replacing it 5, 6, 7 years later. And so I think it's going to take us some 7.
I do wonder. I wonder. What? Okay. I wonder, like, when these people are asking these questions, are they asking out of ignorance, or are they asking for their audience? Because, like, for Jensen Huang to say, here's how computers work. Which is going to last longer? Your refrigerator or your computer? If you buy a brand new computer and you buy a brand new refrigerator, which one are you going to replace first? If you remodel your bathroom and you lay new tile, a new tub, new all that stuff, right? New vanity, new mirror, all that. Which is going to last longer? A laptop? And MacBooks last pretty long. But a MacBook or a PC, or this bathroom. In the length of the time that this bathroom is going to last, you'll probably run through 10 computers if you're using it avidly. So his analogy, Jensen Huang's analogy, makes perfect sense.
It's only money.
No sound on that. Why I did not get no sound on that? Hold up. Where is it? I ain't got no sound. I should have had sound. I don't like that. Should have had sound. I'm sorry, Megan. Sorry. That should have had some sound. I don't know what happened. Unless you guys heard it and I didn't hear. You know what? Maybe that's what happened. Properties. Ah, that's why. So you guys should have heard it. I didn't hear it, but you guys should have heard it. There we go. Okay, cool. Anyway, I'm sorry. Did you guys hear the sound for Magnetar Super Chat? Let me know, because I didn't hear it, but maybe you should have heard it, right? So, anyways, let's continue.
7 years, 8 years to build up to the way computers work.
That we're going to, at some point, overdo it, but we're not going to know that until it's too late.
It's not like roads. Roads, once you lay it down, it stays fairly useful for a long time. The way computers work is you build up the infrastructure, but then you start replacing it 5, 6, 7 years later. And so I think it's going to take us some 7 years, 8 years to build up to the level that we have to sustain. And after that, we're going to be refreshing and slightly growing. And so we've got several years to build out ahead of us. The important thing is this. You have to go back to first principles. Computing has fundamentally changed. It used to be pre-recorded. Excel and PowerPoint and all these tools and all the software is pre-compiled. They compiled it and they send it to us. The way software works now, because it's contextually aware, every single time you use it, it takes into consideration the context, who you are, what you're asking about, what's happening to the world, what other information you give it, the context. And every single context is different and every single response is different. So from now on, every single pixel, every single beep of a sound, every video that comes out of the computer is generated in real time. And that's the reason why we need computers to operate software at such a large scale going forward. And all these tokens are
generating in real time is crazy, crazy valuable, but it's still crazy. Like it's like it's happening at runtime. It's amazing.
We call it intelligence. And for the first time, we're generating something of tremendous value, intelligence as numbers. And these things, as I mentioned earlier, this last year, we went through an inflection point because these tokens became profitable. And so we just have to make more of it.
Can you blame, in some ways, investors who have PTSD from the last time tech went through this revolution and evolution at the same time for seeing certain things that remind them of then and worry that they'll happen again?
Here's what, before Jensen Huang even answers, here's why I think this is all right, I gotta say it.
Just being honest.
Here's why I think this is a stupid question. Stupid. Because where are we at now? We went through whatever he's referring to as, you know, the PTSD, and look at where we're at now. We're like, before this whole AI boom took off, we were significantly better. Like this tech crash that he's referring to, if people had waited, they would have been way better. They would have been way better. So it's a bit foolish. It is a bit foolish, his question.
It's good to always reflect on history. History informs us, but history doesn't repeat. And so you have to take into consideration what's actually happening. Always go back to first principles and think about what is actually happening. Right now, the fundamental difference, a huge difference between now and some things that happened in the past with the internet, there was a ton of dark fiber. There are no dark GPUs. 100% of the GPUs are rented. In fact, GPUs that we sold 6 years ago, the prices are going up. It's not like it's antique. I mean, it's incredible. It's like a fine wine. The demand is so high that GPUs I sold 6 years ago are going up in price. And so I think the demand is just incredibly high for the reasons that I just said. One, we went through an inflection point. AI has become useful and very, very capable. Two, the adoption of it is incredibly high. And three, because these AIs are thinking, the amount of computation it needs is great. And so to the extent that people continue to pay for the AI with, you know, and the AI companies are able to generate a profit from that, they're going to keep on doubling.
I agree. I absolutely agree with, and that's why for me, I don't buy all the fear mongering. Oh, okay, they're going to change the titles, but you're going to be doing more meaningful and more valuable work if you do not let yourself define the value that you bring. If you do not let yourself define what you bring, see? All right, tell me if I'm off here, right? Thank you, Magnetar. Thank you. I caught it. I caught it though. Tell me if I'm off here, right? When they ask, see, all right, I don't know if I should share this information. I'm going to share. You know what? I'm going to share. When they ask the question, what do you bring to the table, to the proverbial table? And you know how either people get offended when they get asked that question, right? People get offended. People can't answer because they don't know, or whatever else it is, right? But what if the answer was, they're not gonna like, they're not, right. Should I give this answer? Should I give the right answer? Should I give the right answer? Here's a question. Here. I'm gonna give you a hint. At the answer, right? And this spans way past relationships. This is applicable to the job market and all of that good stuff. What do you bring to the table? Here's a question. What does a waiter or a waitress bring to the table? Right? What does a waiter or a waitress bring to the table? The answer is whatever you want. Whatever you ask them to. If it's on the menu, of course. If it is on the menu. What does a waiter or a waitress bring to the table? Whatever you ask them for. So, what do you bring to the table? Whatever you want me to bring to the table, I will bring it happily. And that goes for work, for friendship, for relationships, whatever. What do you need from me? I should not have shared that information. How could little nerdy old lame me have that answer? Anyways, let me check the chat. Don't. I take it back. That was lame. That lame old me giving that answer. Oh, come on. Anyways, first and foremost, we got my guy Magnetar in the building. Says, how dare you? It's only money. Sonic countdown. You know, I got you on that song. Why am I getting? Now I'm getting feedback. I'm gonna play this again. Hold on.
How dare we speak Merry Christmas?
Why am I getting this? Give me a second. Properties. Oh, you know what I think I did? Oh, wait, no. Hold on. Give me a second. Let's go to, why am I getting this twice? Okay, I see what it is. I put the, all right, I got it now. Cool, got it. So, all right, let's continue to, so Magnetar heard the sound. All right, good, because my settings were off. For some reason, I turned it off. Let me go back up a little bit. Magnetar says, cool earrings. Oh my God, Magnetar. Now I'm gonna have to get the black ones. Now. Honestly, like I had like the white ones. I'm like, you know what? If I get the white ones, they're gonna look like earrings. But I'm gonna get the black ones. But yes, it's not my mic, but it's my headphones, so that I do not have the sound from the speakers, from the computer speakers, going into the mic. So I prefer not wearing them, but actually, they're growing on me. They are growing on me. So shout out to my guy, Magnetar. You are all good. All right. You're all good. Magnetar answers about the AI question. Faster in learning the math? I'm not sure, but better understanding? Absolutely. And I'm telling you, I have seen Magnetar work through these math problems using these tools. And one of the things I love about AI is that it adapts to your learning style. Kind of like the video that I made, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. Like you can train it to your learning style. Like if you want flashcards, if you want quizzes, if you want, I don't know, whatever works for you. You know? Because you can say, okay, I want to do it on a whiteboard. You can do it on the whiteboard. You can take a picture of it, and then you can put the picture into the Gemini, into the AI, and say, oh, can you analyze it for me? Did I do it right or wrong? You could probably even record a video. I don't know. Magnetar says, nope, I would not have taken stats or trigonometry without it. See, there we go.
Flawless victory.
And Junior says, absolutely not. I would leave that to the professionals. And Junior, we asked the other day, we asked our dear, good old beloved brother, Rod Brown, how much would it cost for him to do the simple website that you made for yourself? And he said,
one more thing. Price of the brick going up.
Right? Magnetar says, it's saving you the cost of delegation. That's a fact. That is a fact. We're talking about at least 4 digits for that website, all right? Says Busy Slim says, so you say buy bathtub? Hey, it'll last you longer. It won't be as, I want to say the word useful, but it's not gonna be as, because a bathtub is very, very useful. All right, I'm gonna put that, but it won't be as productive. So You might spend like $300 on a decent bathtub. You got to install it and all that type of stuff, right? But it's just going to be there. You take a shower, you take a bath, whatever. But the laptop, see, the bathtub is not going to make you any money. The laptop, if you're using it for the right reasons, you can become a millionaire overnight, maybe more than one night, from your laptop. All right, I'm just saying. Junior heard it too. Nice. It says Junior says absolutely saving him. Exactly. You'd go trap. I caught it though. I caught it. I did not go too far. Let me see. Anything else? A food, service, whatever you want. See? I'm telling you. Great minds think alike. You see? Real life application, as you put it. See what I'm saying? It says all three of the AIs can and have developed their own quizzes for me. See, that's, and whatever works for you. Whatever works for you. All right? So but that is the point. That is the point. What do you bring to the table? Whatever you need me to. See? Anyhow, I digress. Because what do I know? I'm just a lame with money. You know, so it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, let's jump into another working segment. I am gonna put another 20 minutes on the clock.
Let's go!
And we're gonna jump over to our Gemini. All right, so implementation roadmap. This is where we stopped at, right? Implementation roadmap. 3 steps to 5%. Step 1, the mapping phase. You cannot find the blast radius if the tool doesn't know the connections. For your API repos, ensure you have a clear mapping between code and test. See, that's the tricky part. That is the very, very tricky part. Folder structure, mirroring, or tagging test. Service name. For integration, use consumer-driven contracts like pack. This creates a map of who depends on whom, which AI tools use to determine the blast radius. Step 2, training the model, the shadow run. Most AI tools like Launchable require a training period. Connect the tool to your GitHub CI. Run your full 4-hour suite as usual for 2 weeks. The AI observes which code changes actually cause tests to fail. It builds a correlation matrix of your specific code base, setting the confidence threshold. Once trained, you could just turn it on. You set the threshold. Give me 95% confidence. The AI might run 15% of your tests, but guarantees it will catch 95% of potential regressions. Give me 20% confidence. Sanity runs only 2% of your test on an instant smoke check on every save. Immediate value integration with GitHub Actions. Since you likely use GitHub for your repos, I can implement a tiered execution in your GitHub workflow. Tier 1, Agentic 5-minute. Use an AI tool to run the blast radius test immediately on PR open. Okay. Tier 2, traditional optional. Run the 4-hour regression only after the PR is approved or once a day. Okay. Would you like me to draft a sample GitHub action configuration for one of your projects that utilize test impact analysis? Do I want to do that? So the tool that could do, all right, so let's go ahead and look up Launchable real quick, all right? Let's go ahead and look up Launchable. Launchable, now part of CloudBees, is an AI-powered test intelligence platform that reduces software testing times up to 90% and optimizes CI/CD pipelines. By utilizing machine learning and run only the most critical tests based on code changes, it eliminates the need for full test suite runs, saving on average 2,000 hours per month for users. I will check. So it came out in 2021. or they started working in 2021. Um, let's take a look at this one. See, they never give pricing. Let me see pricing. They're probably gonna say, contact us for pricing. See, I hate when companies don't just give you the price. I hate when you just can't get a price right there. Okay. Start for free. I see where you go to start for free. So they want you. All right. Let me go to. Let's do some research. Let me see what I can find that looks okay. Let's take a look at a demo. Let's see what we can glean from this video. Let me see. Let's go over here.
Performing software delivery at scale can prove challenging for large organizations. Unlike a fresh startup where everything's greenfield, you have many different applications with different tool stacks and different types of environments. You'll often have many automation scripts in place to manage these different components, but it's rare to have an orchestration layer above these scripts to manage the entire process. Let's take a look at how we at CloudBees help our customers address these challenges with our release orchestration capabilities. In this tool, a release is the way you can orchestrate your entire end-to-end software delivery process for a single or many applications. You map out all the required steps, and then when run, it ensures everything happens in the correct order every single time. Now you get instant consistency and visibility into your software delivery process once you've mapped out the release. A release is broken into multiple stages, and a stage is broken up into multiple tasks. A task can be an integration with another tool, a custom script, a deployment, or even a manual step. In this case, I start with release readiness, where I'm gathering information pertinent to the release candidate, and then I have 3 more stages: quality assurance, pre-production, and production. Each of these will perform a deployment to an environment and perform some related tasks. As the tasks are performed, logs, response data, and more are stored and can be accessed throughout the release to perform conditional operations and pass around results. Between stages, there are entry and exit gates, which prevent the release from continuing until certain criteria are met. These gates can include both automatic and manual validation steps. The release editor is designed to be easy to use, so you won't need to jump into the docs to figure out how to add a new task. I can easily create a new task, select one of the plugin procedures, and then fill out a few form fields, and I'm off to the races. The deployment steps are interesting. They aren't directly defined as a reference to a deployment script, as you may see in other tools.
So this isn't really what I care about at the moment. So, unify your software delivery without replatforming. CloudBees unifies, connects all your DevOps tools into one intelligent control and context plane, giving you security, visibility, and speed without changing how you work. Maybe that'll be good, but I don't know. What would be the fastest way to set up the to set up the predictive test selection in a repository, in a repo? Practical steps, please. To set up predictive tests quickly, the fastest path is to move away from building a custom AI model and instead leveraging test impact analysis. This uses your code's dependency graph to map changes to specific tests. Here are practical high-speed steps to get this running in a repository. Choose a plug-and-play engine. I mean, I guess for one of my repos, we can use this, but for Python, PyTest, use pytest-testmon, it tracks which tests execute which lines of code and only reruns tests affected by recent changes. Okay, the big tech way, use Launchable, the fastest AI-driven setup because it doesn't require code mapping. It learns from your CI. The practical implementation, generate a dependency map. So you need a way to tell the CI if folder A run test suite A. Oh, okay, I see what they're saying. In your GitHub API test YAML, use on push paths. You would do path service. Okay. Gotcha. Implement testmon. Initialize CI step in your PR. This will typically drop setting up the blast radius for integration tests. Okay. Identify your most stable API repo. Install an impact plugin. What if most of our tests, what if our tests are running on a custom testing framework that uses Python and Behave? Let's try that. Let me try that for now. You have a unique advantage. You can leverage Behave's native tagging system and Python's ability to handle GIF diffs programmatically. Instead of running your entire suite, you can build a tag-based blast radius. This is the fastest way to implement a predictive test selection for your specific stack. The strategy, automated tag mapping in Behave, you likely have, okay, yeah, we have that. The goal is to create a small Python script that acts as a gatekeeper for the Behave command runs. Logic. Use git diff to find which files changed in the PR. Map to tags. Use a simple JSON map or directory naming convention to link those files to Behave. Execute, run Behave tags. Okay. Okay. Practical implementation, the smart runner script. Import, okay, we got that. Services auth. Run everything for DB changes. Fair. API v1 user. So if this path changes, run this. If there's a change on this controller path, run this. Optimizing for cross-repo integration. Okay, in the integration repo, the workflow triggers. Okay. If you aren't using it yet, look into BehaveX. It is a wrapper for Behave that adds parallel execution. Have that. Behave is notoriously single-threaded. Automated reruns. This can automatically retry failed scenarios, the flaky ones, before reporting a failure. That's pretty good. The quick value. By using the git to tag mapping, you effectively reduce your 4-hour suite to 10 to 15 minutes, targeted run on 90% of your PRs. You only run the full 4-hour regression on merges to main or once a night. Fair. Would you like me to help you refine? Oh, thinking. Okay, let me ask another question, Kate. What if the code base is written in C#, but the tests are written in Python and Behave? Does that change anything? I'm just asking for a friend. I'm asking for a friend. Actually, the setup is quite common in professional QA environments. It doesn't change the strategy, but it does change the implementation, how you detect the blast radius. So your application code C# and your tests are Python behave are effectively decoupled. You can't rely on language-specific tools like testmon. Instead, you need to use a path-based mapping or metadata mapping. Here's how you can handle this cross-language bridge efficiently. Because a change in a CS file won't be seen by a Python test runner, naturally, you need a way to link C# namespaces / folders to behave tags. Create a mapping file that lives in your repository. This acts as a brain for your predictive test. Gotcha. Okay, we could do that. Okay. Okay. So here, the smart bridge Python script, you'll use a Python script to look at the C# changes and decide which behave tags to fire. Handling the integration repo. C# repo PR. Developer submits a change. Okay. CI step, a GitHub action detects the CS changes and identifies the map. Okay, cross repo trigger. Okay, I mean, this isn't the case for resume flow. I'm just doing some investigation. So now I'm gonna say, if I, all right, am I able to use an agentic AI tool to scan the repo to see what are the controllers that it has and the API tests and tags that they have to start doing the mapping, as the repos are pretty big and have a lot of controllers. All right, so let's go with that. Which I'm pretty sure the answer to this is yes, absolutely. But still asking and finding out how we can do it, right? You can absolutely use agentic AI tools to automate the discovery and mapping phase. In fact, for a large C# base with decoupled Python behave test suite, using an AI agent is the most efficient way to generate an initial impact math. Here's how you can practically use AI agents to scan your repo and create that mapping. What in the? Using Cody or Claude Code for repo scanning. Look at that. Look at that. We have Gemini making a suggestion to use Claude Code for repo. I love the camaraderie. Tools like SourceGraph, Cody, or Claude Code, the CLI agent, have a high context window, meaning they can read an entire repository to understand relationships that aren't explicitly linked in code. The prompt strategy: you can run a command in your C# repo like scan all files, the controllers in directory, identify every route, right? Then look at the integration test repo and find behave .feature files that call the specific endpoints. Generate a JSON mapping of controller name to list of behave tags. All right. Why this works: attribute recognition. AI agents are excellent at regex style scanning, but with the semantic understanding, they can see that user account controller in C# likely maps to user auth tags in your behave files based on name convention. I don't know if our names are that close, but whatever. Dependency discovery. If a C# controller uses a specific service class, the agent can trace that service to other controllers, helping you define a wider blast radius than a simple text search would. Specialized agentic tools for C# and QA. If you want a more permanent automated solution rather than a one-time scan, consider Cloving CLI, a specifically built C# and ASP.NET. You can use Cloving init to let it index your repo and then and then use it to generate a context map of your controllers, augmented code. Designed for large-scale cross-repo dependency, it can handle 200,000 tokens of context, which is perfect for mapping your C# controllers against a completely separate Python test repository. Parasoft Dev, while a traditional tool, it now includes AI-powered test impact analysis, specifically for .NET. It can autonomously detect which parts of the C# code are hit by which test by analyzing execution paths. Practical execution workflow or practical agent workflow to build your map. If you want to do this today, follow the workflow like using a Cloud Code or GitHub Copilot CLI. Extract endpoints. Ask the agent to run a script that extracts all unique API routes for your C# controller and into a file called endpoints. Scan test. Move to your behave to your Python behave repo. Ask the agent to read the endpoint.txt file for each endpoint. Find the behave scenarios that use it. Output a list of tags associated with those scenarios. All right, this is cool. Maintenance, the living map. Once the agent creates an initial map, you don't want to get it. You don't want to get outdated. Pre-commit hooks. Have a Jensen script run on every PR that checks if a new controller is added. If so, prompt the developer. I say new controller. For example, v1 upload. Which behave tag should this map to? I kind of would say. There we go. Automated updates. Use a tool like Launchable, which uses machine learning to continuously update the mapping based on which tests fail when certain C# files. All right, I got you. Would you like me to write a Python script that you can give to an AI agent to run this? All right, so here's what we're gonna do when we get back. We're gonna do a little trial run using. I know ResumeFlow has tests. We'll use ResumeFlow. Actually, should I use ResumeFlow? Yeah, we'll use ResumeFlow. All right, let's go to break. Let us go to break. Let me see if we have anything in the chat before we get to our next topic of the night. Magnetar says it kind of sounds like Tom Brady. You know what? I have never really paid attention to Tom Brady speaking, so I have no idea how Tom Brady actually sounds now that I think about it. Anyways. Let's jump into our next break time topic of tonight. Meta and Amazon making performance reviews much tighter. What? So this article says tech companies like Amazon and Meta are tightening their performance reviews. Here's what that could signal according to the quote unquote experts. We've seen a lot of experts, right? So this article is written by Sarah Jackson. So tech giants like Amazon and Meta are overhauling their performance review systems, and experts say that changes could signal even more layoffs and firing ahead. It says Amazon on January 28th announced 16,000 layoffs on top of its 14,000 cuts in October, but they did say that they were going to be laying off 30,000 people. Right? It's asking corporate employees to submit 3 to 5 accomplishments. I remember back in the days, like last year around this time, when the government employees had to submit 3 to 5 accomplishments as part of the Doge initiatives, and they were not happy. They were not having it. They were like, "How dare you? How dare you make me justify and let you know what I bring to the proverbial table?" They said, I profusely refuse to fill out these forms about what I bring. You cannot ask me that question.
Bruh. Ain't believing us.
But now Amazon is saying, what? But here's the problem, right? Here's the problem. As an employee, as an employee, shouldn't you have way more? Like, shouldn't it be easy to say what 3 to 5 things that you have accomplished in a quarter, in half a year, in a year? Are you not looking for accomplishments? So, what is the purpose of a performance review if you are not sharing or highlighting your accomplishments? No. Business Insider reported last month, citing people familiar with the matter and an internal document viewed by Business Insider. The report notes that the company has asked questions to that effect before, but says this marks the first time Amazon has explicitly formalized its system across its entire corporate workforce around individual accomplishments. Is it an unfair question though? If you're not accomplishing anything, why are you there? What value do you bring outside of the self-value you have that you proclaim that you bring, right? At Meta, which in January announced layoffs affecting 1,000. How many employees at Meta? Meta has 74 to 79,000 employees, but they fired 1,000, and we are in a hissy fit. How many employees at Amazon? There was a movie that said, I don't hate you, but I don't like you very much right now. I just don't like you a lot right now. That's how I feel about these articles. Meta employs 1.56 million, or Amazon employs 1.56 million people worldwide. This total includes over 350,000 corporate employees. And it's the end of the world when Meta fires 1,000 and Amazon fires 30,000? Give me a break here. And if they fired corporate employees, right? Let's see. What percentage is 30,000 of 350? What? Oh, I missed a zero. Sorry. They fired 8% of their corporate employees. And 2% of their worldwide employees. No. All right. Well, it says at Meta, which in January announced layoffs affecting 1,000 people, workers will now be categorized in the top 20%, a middle 70%, a lower 7%, and a bottom 3%. Why are you at the bottom? Why are you in the bottom 3%? Top performers with truly exceptional impact will now see rewards of up to 300% in their bonus.
More money, more money.
I want to be a top performer. We're evolving our performance program to simplify it and placing greater emphasis on rewarding outstanding performance, a Meta spokesperson told Make It. While our employees have always been held to high performance, impact-based culture, this new direction allows for more frequent feedback and recognition in a more efficient way. Amazon did not provide comment to Make It. Stack ranking, as in Meta's system, isn't uncommon in large companies, particularly in tech. It's not just a stick; it's also a carrot. It says Sakait Chaudhry, faculty director and of management, entrepreneurship, and technology program at the Entrepreneurship Hub at UC Berkeley Haas School. Oh my God! All right, so faculty director of management, entrepreneurship, and technology program, and the Entrepreneurship Hub at UC Berkeley, Haas School of Business. That is a long place, right? Nor is it new or all that surprising for an employer to ask workers to recap their accomplishments for the year when doing their performance. It's nothing new. So the employers, see, when the employers ask you, so what do you bring to the table? You don't throw a hissy fit. You still can't answer it, but you don't throw a hissy fit, right? The answer is whatever the employee needs. Whatever the employer needs, that's what I'm going to be working towards, right? That's the job they gave me. And I want to go above and beyond my job, right? But the changes are also unfolding against a backdrop of mass layoffs from both firms and across 2% or 8% in the grand scheme of things is not mass layoffs, right? I'm just saying. And across the broader economy, job cuts announced last month hit their highest January total since 2009, according to a report released last week by global outplacement firm Challenger, Gray & Crispus. But if you saw yesterday, job gains were like out of this world. When it comes to performance reviews crackdowns, the most common reason companies do this is that they really want to shrink headcount, says Peter Capellelli, professor of management at the Wharton School at University of Pennsylvania and the director of Wharton Center of Human Resources. It's cheaper to fire people for poor performance than it is to lay them off. If someone has poor performance, why would you lay them off? Like, get rid of them, right? You guys remember that video that we reviewed? Like, don't go on a PIP. If you go out on a PIP, start looking for another job. Only the highest performers. Executives sometimes believe supervisors aren't tough enough on finding people who aren't performing and doing something about it. That's what the guy would say. Overhauling performance mandates in tandem with changes to return office orders and heightened surveillance to enforce those mandates could mark an attempt to regain power and control following the employees' labor market of great resignation. It's like we are getting our lick back. We're getting our lick back for what you did to us back a few years ago. The shoe is on the other foot. Companies may want staffers to spell out their accomplishments because reporting relationships have been rearranged after layoffs hit middle management ranks. Chaudhry says, managers suddenly taking on reports from other laid-off managers may not know the full extent of their new reports' work. Leaders might also be taking a page from Elon Musk's book, Doge during the... you see, I told you. Doge during its cost and job-cutting drive asked federal workers to submit a list each week detailing what they got done. Every week they wanted to know what you brought to... Doge wanted to know every single week what you brought to the table. In performance reviews, a quarter, every 6 months, every year. See? And they come out, you hate the private sector. It says, it's that time again. Pressure from shareholders and the race to beat out competitors in the AI wars factor into the efficiency drive. This is an era of ferment, Chaudhry says, referring to AI. Each business at every turn, especially when there's a disruption, has to evaluate how they can run in the leanest fashion. And you should always look to be lean. You should always look to be lean and mean. Right? Don't be that 6'2", 300-pound point guard in the men's 35 and up league, playing in the illegal gym by those coaches, those delinquent coaches. Don't be that guy. Don't be that point guard. Okay. It says U.S.-based employers announced 108,000 job cuts last month, up 118 from 49,000 announced last January, and up 205 from 35,000 cuts announced in December, according to the Challenger report. Roughly 40% of last month's cuts came from Amazon and UPS alone. Okay, well, it is what it is. I mean, if a company cut 60,000 jobs, right, and another company cut like 50,000 jobs, of course it's going to inflate the numbers, but applying that to everyone, it's going to inflate the numbers. So the unemployment rate steadily ticked upward over 2025 and hit a 4-year high of 4.6 in November because a lot of government employees were also laid off, right? But what was the number in February? Let's find out. What were the job? What is the unemployment rate? And job gains in February 2026. February 11th report. We went down. So went down to 4.3. So you're saying that, where was it? Unemployment rate ticked upwards over 2025 and hit a 4-year high in November. Fair. But now we're at 4.3 and we gain 130,000 non-farm payroll jobs driven heavily in healthcare and in construction because we need those data centers. Right? Just saying. It was unexpected. It was totally unexpected. All right? So they said it doubled the expectations. Okay? So let's go back to it. In this context, the change to performance reviews could have far-reaching repercussions unless you're a great employee. Mediocre to great. Fear of additional layoffs down the road and heightened scrutiny around day-to-day performance expectations could put the pressure on employees to work harder, Chaudhry says. It could also nudge employees who might be reviewed poorly to leave on their own to avoid potentially being cut, he adds. Put them on a PIP, they're out. While this could save the company some money on possible severance costs in the short term, the overall could ultimately be costly for companies' reputations. Do you think that Meta, Amazon, Google, Netflix, Tesla, am I missing anybody? Apple, do you think they give a damn about their reputation? Now, a little small company, they care. They don't want a bad review on Glassdoor, but these smaller companies, these big companies, they don't care. Because whatever their reputation is, I guarantee you that Amazon gets 50,000 applications per day. Google gets 50,000 applications per day. Let's see if we can find that out. How many job applications does Amazon get per day? See if there's a number for that. While there's no single day figure, Amazon receives an immense volume of applications, over 1 million people applying for jobs during their 2021 Career Day event. Data from 2019 indicated that a rate of over 18 applications per minute during hiring events, totaling 200,000 applications per week. See if they say anything for Google. Google receives roughly 8,000 to 9,000 job applications per day. I might have exaggerated a little bit with my 50,000, but 8,000 to 9,000 per day. That's why you're not getting any callbacks, because they don't see you. They don't see you. All right. Anyhow, let's finish this up. When the labor market swings back in employees' favors, when the labor market swings back in employees' favors, companies will have to make the incentive so strong for people to overlook the reputational downside that might happen from this. It's a fair fight. I think it is a fair fight. Whoever has the bigger stick wins. All right. When the labor, all right, we read that. For now, Chaudhry interprets the message tech companies are sending their employees to be this: I need to work long hours. I need to put my best foot forward. It's that time again. Or you can work more efficiently and use your AI agentic tools to the T. I think it's just the way the world works. Because I'm telling you, how many YouTube channels, how many content creators blew up during the pandemic? Get into tech here, break into tech, all these topics, right? All these channels, And now they're still getting the views, but they are not getting the results of their viewers. See, that's what I mean. I provide strategy. I provide strategy. No guarantees. No. If you do this one thing, I guarantee you're going to get a job in 2026. No, I don't do that. I don't do that. I just work. I show you how I work. I show you how my mind works. And I say, if I can add some value to you, then great. If not, then sorry. All right, let's get to the chat real quick, and then we're going to go back to our last working segment. Let me see what we got. Max says three to five accomplishments. What are you talking about? It says easy. That's what appraisals are for. Just 3 to 5 a day. More like a week in the public sector. Speaking from my experience. It's not for stupid. Where's my stupid? Not for stupid political purposes. Fair enough. I agree with you on that. It says illegal. All right, remind me, because I said something. What is illegally? Is it like requesting it was illegal? Fill me in on what's illegal, because I just be saying stuff. And some got brought back. Fair enough. Oh my God. We got Rise in the bit. What's up, Rise? How are you doing tonight? And the beloved brother Rod Brown says, those tech channels were annoying.
Bruh.
Let me ask you a question, Rod Brown. As somebody who has been in the field for 10 years now, more or less, maybe more, all right? And you see these little tech channels, they come up and says, oh, go and join this boot camp for 3 weeks, and you can do the same work that Rod Brown does. And what took him 10 years to get to this salary, you can get it on your first interview. Weren't you like, this is stupid. That's what I'm like, but that's how they get you. That is how they get you. All right. So, but I felt the same way, Rod Brown. I felt the same way. That's why I had to create my channel. I'm like, you know what? I gotta come back at this, right? Magnetar says, you said Fed workers were laid off. Some, I don't know all the details. Maybe some were illegal, maybe some, I don't know. All I know, there were layoffs. There were people who left on their own accord. They said, give me the money.
More money.
They said, show me the money. Show me the money. And Magnetar says, oh gosh, not boot camps.
How dare we speak Merry Christmas?
What happened? And Robin says boot camps are a lie. And how does that go? Oh, okay. Let's do it again. Boot camps are a lie, and the truth ain't in you.
Ain't believing us.
All right. We're going to get into our last, because I want to get to this last segment. All right. So let me go ahead and open up my webs. Why is this open? Let me close it out. Let's go over to WebStorm. And we're going to put up a last 20.
It's time to do.
And we're going to go over to, let me put up our banner. All right, let's go over to, open up the right application. All right, we're going to go here. Let's just say this one. Let's go over here. And so this is the resume flow code, right? I'm going to do a git pull things in. All right, I got all these things pulled in. And there should also be a branch with some tests there that I don't see. Let me see, git branch. And we have write unit test, keto test, implement test plan. Is it this one? Let me check my backlog to make sure that this is it. Because I didn't write these tests. One of my tech barbarians wrote this test. And I want to, they wrote it in Playwright, which is perfectly fine. But I want to see if we can do something to, let me go to, looking for. Okay, so let's go to, oh, there we go. And I'm going to go to 199. Okay, there we go. And did this. All right, let me check something on GitHub. GitHub. Let's go here. Let's take a look over here. Or wrong button. Oh, yeah, we're good. So let's go to pull request, test suite code. What branch is this? Test suite. Why don't I see test suite? All right, so there goes test suite. Let's go to excuse me. Whew. Happy the mute button is right here because that would have been bad. All right, let's go to git checkout test suite. Is that available? Your local changes. All right. Git status. Okay. What branch am I on? Okay, untracked. Test. All right, let's do what? Git branch. All right, let's do git add src test setup. Let's do src test setup. If I could do, let's do something real quick. Oh, I could do that. All right, let me try that. Let me try. Wait. Let's try this. Oh, that works. Now I'm looking at the code. A little backwards, but it is what it is. It is what it is, right? So let's do that. It's probably going to be messed up on the other side, but whatever. I can always fix that. So, whatever. Let's go. I have a quick way to flip it. So let's go to add. Be creative on this now. Let's do that. Let's do package lock, and let's do src test utils. All right. Let's say git add, git commit -m, storing, committing some files. All right, let's do that. And now git checkout test suite. Switch to a new branch. Git pull. Is it there? Okay. So, all right. So we have our playwright tested here. So I want to do a little experiment based on what we saw from GitHub. All right. So I'm going to say, we're going to do it like this. Let's go over to here. And I got to flip it over. Run. This is going to be annoying. All right. So let's do, I'll figure something out for this. I will figure something out. All right, so what I want to do is, so let's say the query, all right, for the actual resume flow project, we are using TypeScript and Playwright for the code base and the testing. I'd like to do a quick prototype of setting up the blast radius. Think of the blast radius. TIA and TIA in this repository. Can you walk me through doing so? You have access to a powerful native tool for test impact analysis. That's just became reality in recent updates. The only change flag. For a quick prototype, we will set up a Git-based blast radius filter. This avoids complex AI infrastructure for your first iteration while giving you immediate speed gains. The prototype strategy. Playwright can natively compare your current branch PR against a base branch, usually main, and identify not just change test files, but also test that import change source code. The local quick check before touching CI, verify the logic works locally. Run this in your terminal. npx playwright test. What this does, Playwright scans the files change between your main and runs. Okay. Step-by-step see. Okay. All right. So I wonder which version of Playwright does this only changed belong to? Only change. This is this version was really, August 2024. Okay, fair. This version was a major turning point for the blast radius because it moved TIA from being manual scripting task to a native feature. All right, so let me see if I can do a npm install. Let's do npx playwright version. 1.56. Okay, so we should be good. So let's try that command then. If we were to do so let's do npx playwright test dash dash only changed equals main. Let's see what that gives us. Missing start script. I'm not the most familiar with playwright. Let's see if we do copy that. Go over here. Ooh, I have an idea. I have an idea for my OBS. When I switch to another, when I switch, I could pass a transform to flip that. Oh, that's gonna be, I'm gonna try that after the stream. I'm gonna try that after the stream. When I do the npx playwright playwright, Jesus, test dash dash only changed equals main, I am getting the error below. Probably a simple fix, but I am not a playwright aficionado by any means. Because your playwright configuration is trying to spin up a local development server before running the test, but it can't find your start script in your, when you run, okay. By default, it often tries to run npm start. So, okay, so let me, all right, so basically, we look at our package.json, and it is, see. Let's go with this. These are my options in my package.json. Using Vite confirms that your development command is dev and your local production looks like preview is preview. There happens because playwright default configuration assumes start, but since it doesn't, you need to tell playwright. Okay, so let's try that, I guess, for now. So if we go to package dot, not package, what is it? Oh, playwright dot config.ts. It is looking for npm run dev. Web server. npm run dev. Let's try that. Let's try that. Still missing script start. So why wouldn't that take? What did I type? Did I do npx? I did do npx. So why is that not taking? npm run dev. Now I am using someone else's code, to be fair, so it might take a minute to figure this thing out. A minute that we don't have, though. Package.json. npm dev, npm run dev. What is the command that I have here? Hold on, edit. Run dev. So it's just run dev. So it should it should be npm run dev. So what is your malfunction? Hmm. npm dev. I'm not sure why it's not starting up. I changed it. Let me see what's this. Command string. That's in playwright stuff. It's not doing anything. Maybe it's trying. Trying to do something. Bro, localhost. Timed out. Wait, all right. So let me try to change this then to 5173. Try that again. I don't know. Let me see if I go to this right here. Timed out waiting for web server. Excuse me, still a little under the weather. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna get anywhere with this. But I wanted to see if that command was gonna work. But I can get this working. Is there anything in a .env? What if I was to run this? Oh, I see, says the blind man. So let's say we stop that and we do 8080. And we run that. There we go. There. Oh, no, that's not the one I want. I want to do over here. Ah, there we go. There we go. So, missing requirements variable base URL. Okay, so let's do equals localhost. All right, we're gonna stop. We just gotta do this one command. Just give me this one command. Extra rings, extra rings, extra lives, extra lives. I'm calling it right now. I'm calling it right now. All right, don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me, Magnetar, the Stream Deck list, Rod Brown. Oh, okay. I see what they did. All right, I'm gonna figure out these tests that I did not write, and we will get all the necessary parameters in place, and we will figure that out. Let me see if I do. Okay, whatever. All right, we're gonna wrap it up. We are going to wrap it up for tonight. But a lot of investigation, a great game plan that we're gonna be implementing over the next couple of weeks to get this where we want it to be. So that, because this is going to be very, very important and informative going forward, especially for QA engineers, because guess what? While you might not feel valued, I look to see where is the value needed. I don't say this is the value that this is the value and only value that I'm going to bring. I say, okay, what value is needed? What are the pain points? Where is the chatter happening? And I am going to go there, and I'm going to go to the ends of the world to find a solution. All right. Let me check the chat, and then we are going to get into our very, very last story, because it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. All right. So let me see. We got. Ryan says, wait, I take boot camps on Udemy. Why so much hate for boot? All right, so I'm not talking about Udemy boot camps. I love Udemy, now Coursera, but I love Udemy, right? Because they always have classes for the low, and they are very, very detailed and structured, and they do not promise you that you're going to get a job in 2 weeks after finishing the course and that you're going to be an expert. They don't do that. They say, here's information, and you go through it, you try it. There's projects, there's stuff, right? The boot camps that I'm talking about is the boot camps that you will pay $8,000 to $10,000 for. And they say, you know, if you take this boot camp, you can start making $100,000 as a manual tester. If you take this boot camp, in 4 to 6 weeks, you will be a senior web developer, and you will be the boss, yes, the boss of my dear beloved brother, Rod Brown. Nope. That is not going to happen.
I'm in a bind, Nate.
I heard of this one boot camp. They were targeting government employees so that they can take the whatever grants that is it a GI Bill or something like that, whatever grants that the government gives them, right? And the cost of the cybersecurity bootcamp was $20,000. Now, I don't know how much the government gives in these grants, but maybe Magnetar can help me out with that. But let's say the government gives like 15 grand. So now they're getting the 15 grand from the government, and they're giving the 5 grand from the individual that they probably have to finance. And then they can't find a job. The reason that I am so critical of boot camps, because story after story after story, people who have gone for, especially nowadays, right, who have gone to boot camps, and I'll give you one, right? There's this one boot camp. They tell you that you need to have, basically it's like 3,000 applications for the year in order to maybe qualify for a refund. Maybe qualify for a refund. We did the math, and you had to apply for more jobs that actually existed. Like, I don't have any more jobs to apply for. And if you missed 1 week, let's say it's like supposed to do like 90 applications per week, right? But on that 1 week, you got 89. You got 89 because you got sick. Maybe you got the flu. And it's like, oh God, I'm so sorry you had the flu. But no refund for you. So that's why I am overly critical, because it's unrealistic, false hope for people who are not in the space, who don't know what it really takes. So they buy it, they pay all the money, and then they were sadly disappointed. All right. Let me see. Rod Brown says extra lives. How dare you?
How dare you?
I'm sorry. But it was only for like 30 seconds, right? Think about it like in soccer, when they have the penalty, like the penalty time or whatever they call it, and you never really know how long it goes for. It's all up to how the referee feels. So that's what it was, right? Ryan says, I agree. I hate those type of people who gas who gas their product as the best thing, but it costs users $1,500 a year to join. Look, if it's $1,500 a year, you're lucky. You're lucky because they be charging you like $8,000, $10,000, $15,000 for 8 weeks. For 8 weeks, and they meet like twice a week for about an hour. Just, it makes no sense. It doesn't make any sense, right? So let's jump into this last topic before we get up and out of here for tonight. She held them down for 7 long years. Now she is broke and bitter.
I'm in a bind, Nate.
Now, you may think I am talking about a relationship. No, I'm talking about a J-O-B. Let's jump into it. So, Yahoo Finance, Business Insider brings us this article. It says, I was loyal. I was a die-hard fan to my company for 7 long years. And I regret it.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I left without debt and without a 401k. Let's check it out. So I'm guessing this is the lady, Andy Mercer, courtesy of Andy Mercer. I'm guessing this is her. 7 long years in a business relationship, right? And she says, I have nothing to show. So the TLDR, Andy Mercer worked at the same PR firm in New Mexico for 7 years before leaving them in 2023. She discovered a non-functional 401k and restrictive non-compete clause at the end of her employment. Now, the question is, why didn't you know about this prior? I have to ask, am I allowed to ask? Am I allowed to ask how come you did not know about this non-functional 401k and the restrictive non-compete clause at the end of before the end of your at the start of your employment?
How dare we speak Merry Christmas?
She wishes she had questioned workplace norms and advocated for her personal rights at the company. I'm not sure what that means. Okay, it's called. You see, in translation, workplace norms and personal rights are called negotiation. It's called reading the contract that you're signing when you are starting at the company. But sometimes what at the beginning, what's a plus for us? Because, hey, I'm young. I don't have a job. I don't have any experience. I need this. I need it. And then you're like getting all that experience. And then at the end, when it's time, see, when you're first in that relationship, it is all flowers and roses and beautiful. But then 7 years in, and they have the toilet bowl seat up. That's what you're saying right now. They have the toilet bowl seat up. My boss comes in, walks past me, doesn't even say hi. Doesn't even ask me, hey, what, are you working on anything new? How was your weekend? Just. When I started my career at a boutique PR and communications firm in the Southwest, I did everything by the book, except reading your contract. I stayed loyal. I stayed down to one company, earned my MBA, climbed my way up from intern to vice president, and believed that if I just worked hard enough, followed the rules, and proved my worth, I could build a future for my family and me that offered financial freedom and job security all the way to retirement. So, number one, in 2023, or whenever, so let's say you quit in or you got whatever you did on 2023, 7 years before that would be 2016. So you started in 2016. See, these employees ain't loyal. See, this is the thing, right? Because it says I stayed loyal, but during that time frame, you earned your MBA. You went from an intern who was probably paid and housed during your internship and probably fed during your internship. all the way to a VP. And you ungrateful. You are ungrateful. 7 years later, I left that same company in 2023 with debt. Why? With no 401k. Why? And a non-compete agreement that temporarily ended my career in my own state. Well, keyword is in your own state. So you could go find employment in another state, because VPs are always being looked for. VPs, they get changed on a rotation, right? They're on a rotation. So you could have, I'll tell you this. One of my former coworkers, he is an expert in Salesforce. He was at the company that we're at. They didn't want to pay him the money that he knew he could make, but he's like, you know what? I'm gonna eat it. When the company closed down, and he went and he started applying, because he said, I'm gonna gain some experience working on this stuff. When he went to get another job from Florida to Texas, he tripled his salary. I think he moved to Dallas. They paid for his move, tripled his salary, gave him all sorts of stock options and incentives and 401ks and all of that stuff. Okay? So what are you negotiating? It says, I thought I did everything right. When I became a full employee in 2017, I remember the onboarding paperwork, the forms about benefits, healthcare, and retirement. I checked the box and enrolled in the company's 401k and set up a 3% contribution to receive the full match. 7 years later, when I'm preparing to leave the firm, I reviewed my financial account and I realized my 401k balance hadn't changed from zero. Confused, I called the provider and I learned that my account existed. It was open and on file, but no contributions had ever been deposited. So here's all right. If you know me, what question am I about to ask? What Junior, Magnetar, Rod Brown, Rise, Cartier? What question am I about to ask right now? I'm gonna read it and I'm gonna ask the question, right? At the time, I was a young professional. I didn't realize how closely I should have been monitoring my retirement contributions. I assumed everything had been set up correctly after my enrollment meeting. My question is, did you ever look at your pay stub? Did you ever look at your pay stub? You know, the pay stub is itemized. It says 401k contribution. It even shows you, and the employer is matching this. So if your contribution says zero and your employee says zero, in 7 years, you never looked at it from intern to VP, you never looked at your contribution? This is wild. And this is supposed to be a victim Olympic story. Oh my God. It wasn't until I was contacted by the plant manager while preparing to leave the company that I learned no investments had ever been made. But you pocketed all of that extra income, right? So now why are you in debt? Why are you in debt? You had all that 401k money, right? Why are you in debt? It says, after several calls, I still didn't receive a clear explanation for why my contributions never went through, only confirmation that they hadn't. But you never put the money in. My second mistake was signing a non-compete agreement without a second thought. When I first joined the company, I was in my early 20s, thrilled. What did I tell you? They were, oh my God, I got my first job. Entry level, no experience except for my internship. And the company's like, hey, you got to sign this non-compete because you are not going to go to our competitors and make them rich for this amount of time. A non-compete is a fair thing, especially depending on the industry, because especially if you're in PR, You're going to take that PR in the same industry and take it to a competitor. Why would they just give you that? No, it's standard, right? It says, the non-compete seemed like a formality, something everyone signed. No. I couldn't imagine leaving, let alone being in a position where it mattered. This is all self-inflicted wounds. Okay, here's a question. Do we think that Andy Mercer right here, do you think that Andy Mercer is going to take any accountability for her situation? Do we think so? I don't know. Do we think? No, maybe yes, no. Because right now I see her blaming the company when the company for 7 years gave her a paycheck. They were willing to give her a matching 401k if she had actually signed up for it, right? Helped her get an MBA. They took a chance on her as an intern and said, you know what, we like you. We like you. We want you to come and work for us. We're gonna bring you on full time. Do you know how many interns do not get brought on full time by the company they intern for? You got to take all of the benefits, all of the holiday parties, all of the free booze, the open bar, the PTO, everything. They took you from intern to vice president. But they're not loyal. Though. They are not loyal. See, and this is why we have AI coming at the rate that it's coming at. Because I think that AI is gonna play a huge role in PR. And AI doesn't have to sign a non-compete. Let's keep going. All right, so we read that. All right, it says we read that. All right, so when I finally did leave, that same clause came back to haunt me. And you never even looked at in the non-compete, should it be capped for like 3 years? Like my non-compete expires if I've been at the company for more than 3 years. It initially barred me from working in my field anywhere in my state, New Mexico, for 2 years. After dedicating my entire professional life to one company, I was suddenly told I couldn't take those skills anywhere. No. See, that is a lie. Liar pants on fire. They didn't say you can't take it anywhere else. You just said you just can't take it to anywhere else in New Mexico. In New Mexico, you can take it to Colorado, you can take it to California, you can take it to Florida, you can take it to New York, you can take it to Utah, you can take it to Texas, to Atlanta. Yeah. Chicago, if you want to survive. I mean, or if you want to get shot. Chicago. You can go to Michigan, Detroit, Michigan. North Carolina, South Carolina, go ahead and raise up. You can go to Puerto Rico and understand the Super Bowl lyrics. You can go out of this country. See, they said there is one state you can't work in for 2 years. And then you can go back after 2 years. One state, they said. They said, but there's 49 other states that you can go to, and U.S. territories and other countries that you can go to work. We saw what was her name again? Michaela, who moved to Bahrain to work over there, living her best life. She's living her best life, and you're mad because you can't work in another similar firm in New Mexico. I began applying for jobs outside New Mexico, but the job market has been especially difficult. I'm still actively searching for a long-term role 3 years later. But you left the job before having another role, right? You left the job before having another role. It's on you. So far, I don't see the company did anything wrong. I don't see that the company did anything wrong. Am I wrong on this? Am I off? Let me know if I'm off. In the meantime, I relied on contract work, bookkeeping projects, and gig jobs like DoorDash to make it. Oh, shoot. And now DoorDash has the dot. Now DoorDash has the dot. They have the robots to take over that job. Darn it. While continuing to search my stable work, I felt boxed out of opportunity. The MBA that I hoped would open new doors only add another layer of irony. I went back to school while working because I believed education would make me competitive if I ever needed to find a new job.
Bruh.
When in doubt, go to school. Not build new skills, but go to school, go take a boot camp, whatever. Instead of getting practical, or go get a certification, instead of getting practical application. What I didn't anticipate was entering a market where advanced degrees don't guarantee stability. Welcome to the real world. I mean, I know people who they will brag about their MBA. They'll have it in their email signature, right? But then they're like, but I can't find a job. I don't have an MBA, but I've been working forever and I build my own stuff and I help other people in this field. I offered to help set up a Stream Deck that I was sadly rejected.
Do not come.
Right? I'm still paying off my $12,000 debt years later while fighting for roles that barely cover child costs. Why did you leave the last company? Why did you leave the company that you were loyal for 7 years? Loyal. I'm telling you, yo, these people have the most ironic definition of loyalty. You didn't read the contract. You didn't check your pay stubs for if you get paid every 2 weeks for 7 years, you've never checked the pay stub? Are you serious? Never check the pay stub to see if your money's getting out of there? When I got my when I get my, like, I don't check every single pay stub because I get direct deposit. So my first pay stub, I'll check it and make sure everything looks on the up and up. And if it stays consistent, then I'm like, cool. If something deviates, I'm like, all right, this shouldn't deviate. What's going on here? If the big beautiful bill passes and I see my income rise on my check, my pay, I'm like, oh, okay, this is pretty nice, right? But I check. When I see deviations, I check. If something looks like an anomaly, I'm like, okay, why is this like this? Why did I get this bill? Why did my water bill go so high? Oh, okay, we had a leak. Why did my electricity bill go so high? Oh, I've been using more power for this thing. But you never checked your paycheck, and did your pay stub never go up in 7 years? Like, you went from intern to VP. How did you never check your pay stub? Like, that's crazy to me. If there's one thing I've learned, it's that the buy the book path isn't always the safest. You did not go by the book, because by the book, people read their contracts, people check their pay stubs. Sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is pause, ask questions, and advocate for your future self, even when it feels uncomfortable. Check your accounts. Read every line before you sign. Protect your autonomy like it's your paycheck, because in many ways it is. I'll tell you that. All right, I'm gonna fill you guys in real quick, right? When you have nothing, it's gonna. All right. Let me, with all due respect, when you have absolutely nothing, when you need help, when you're on the outside looking in, you have no autonomy. If you're looking to get into the field and you sign a non to compete, you better start building other skills for if you do have to leave, how to maneuver that. Or start before. Don't leave a job if you don't have a don't leave a job if you don't have a backup plan. Especially if you have kids. Especially if you have kids. And then you're gonna be crying about, oh, they weren't loyal to me. What type of loyalty? Where does loyalty lie if you are the one that leaves? What do you want me to do? Throw you a party? You're the one who says I don't want to be here anymore. Am I supposed to throw you? It does not make any sense to me. All right. So, anyways, let's finish this up. I wish I had something to tell. I wish I wish I'd had someone to tell me that loyalty is not the same as security. You are not loyal. You are not loyal. Like, what are you talking about? I didn't leave the company because of the work itself. I left because over time, it became clear the environment was no longer the right fit for me. So basically, they had irreconcilable differences. That's what it was. They had she felt that they had irreconcilable, whatever that word. I can't say it. She was. I'm not happy. That's what it was. What? Like, why are you leaving? Is there something wrong with the work? Like, is it the pay? What is it? I'm not happy. Well, what could we do to make you happy? Be another company? All right. Do I sound a bit insensitive? Am I wrong for this? Oh my God. But hey, I'm just putting out what they put on the internet, right? I'm just reading an article on Yahoo. We're reading together, right? We're reading together, okay? I think a lot about what I'll tell my daughter when she starts her career. I'll tell her she doesn't owe loyalty to any company, and her work ethic shouldn't come at the expense of her values. What the hell? What the hell does that even mean? I'll tell her to advocate for herself early and often to ask questions about pay. Why do you have to tell somebody that? Benefits and boundaries, even when it makes people uncomfortable. I don't think a company's uncomfortable when you ask them, because they don't like your question. They're like, oh, you're fine, we'll just move on to the next person. I'll tell her that no job, no title, and no amount of prestige is worth losing yourself over. See, the thing is, right? Let's go to full screen. I'm gonna tell you guys the truth. I'm gonna tell you the guys the truth, right? Here's the truth. When you're starting off and you're trying to get into this field, into this dog-eat-dog field, you have nothing. No one cares about you. You're trying to make a name for yourself. And if you're going to come in all high and mighty, oh, I'm not signing this contract. I know nothing, but you're not going to make me sign this contract. You're not going to give me the opportunity that I need to get to blow up in life. He's going to be like, all right, cool. Because you know how they say, right? There's a million of you. How many people are, imagine if this lady went to Google with her newfound attitude, or if she knew what she knows today, she went to Google and she's like, I'm not signing a non-compete. I'm not signing I want to know about my pay. I want to know if I set up my 401k incorrectly, that you're going to tell me that I've never contributed a dime to it because I don't check my pay stubs. But you got to tell me that I didn't do it right. Okay?
How dare you?
You got to tell me. Because I, as a grown adult vice president at your company, I do not take any responsibility or accountability. No, like I said, no accountability shown in this article whatsoever. If I did set up my 401k right now, blaming my company for that, get the hell out of here. Next. Oh yeah. Next. You want to know what positions are hard to hire? Senior level positions, lead level positions, staff level positions, VPs, directors. A lot of times those are internal hires, internal promotions, like her. But entry level, dime a dozen. You can play Russian roulette, because guess what? If they don't work out, 90 days you're out of there. See, you invest a lot of time in hiring a higher level, but entry level, college grad, whatever, you can like, hey, you ever see it playing basketball at the park and some person who should not be on the basketball court, but someone gets hurt or whatever, hey, come in and play. We just need you to stand there. And they might develop skills, but that's basically entry level. It's not hard to get an entry-level person. So this is going to be bad advice for her daughter. Also, a lack of accountability for her daughter and for herself. So, whatever. Anyways, see, Junior was asking me to do a review. I just did a review. I just did a review. It was on Yahoo Finance. It wasn't. It was on Yahoo Finance. All right. So, Junior, you got your review.
Flawless victory.
I'm telling you, if she ever sees this, if she ever sees this, she's gonna be like.
So that was cute.
Anyway, it's late. I'm gonna get out of here. I've said enough trouble. I have said enough trouble. Okay. Neighbor, what? Oh my God, I am terrible. Cartier 82 says, yikes! I'll be hitting my 7-year mark at the end of August, but my company is up for sale. I don't want to be there during the merger or buyout. You gotta start putting, start looking, start setting up your resume. Join me on Vibe Coding shows every other Saturday. We're not having one this Saturday, but the next Saturday we're gonna have one. Join me, and we can talk about that. Like, we do a Google Meet. Junior's always there. Rod Brown shows up when he can. Magnetar is there most of the time. We have a conversation, and you know, I answer questions like office hours, but we show what I'm working on. If you want to show your resume, whatever you want to talk about, join me for a Vibe Coding show every other Saturday at techcoach.dev. And we can talk about it, right? Junior says, why didn't she check before? Because Junior, because it wasn't her responsibility to check if she was actually getting paid and putting her money in the right places, right? It wasn't her responsibility. It was the company's responsibility to make sure that a grown-up was actually allocating their funds correctly. Rai says, did she look at her taxes? No. Why? That's the accountant's job. I just pass all that money over. Why did the accountant ask, hey, did you ever contribute? Like, why did it say 0 for your 401k? No. Why would she ask that question? Come on. Looking at a pay stub, apparently that is too hard to do.
Bruh.
You guys remember Dodgeball? When Ben Stiller says, nobody makes me bleed my own blood. Nobody makes me look at my own pay stubs. That's the message I'm getting. What I'm getting. The sad part about that is she was a VP.
Ain't believing us.
I used to see all 4 of my contributions on my pay. That's what it shows it all there. It shows it all there. She didn't download the app for the 401k. Nope. It's just there. I mean, what's a 401k anyways, right? Good thing it wasn't the chief. All right. That is a bridge too far, right? That is, you know.
How dare you?
How could you say that? Like that is a bridge. But you're right, though. But you're right. We both know she ain't taking the She sure did it. Hell, she went to a journalist and told them about her situation to blame someone in her own article. They always play the victim, and it wasn't suddenly. That was the agreement she signed when she started. But they're not loyal, though. They are not loyal. He thought the grass was greener on the other side, but the water, see, and that's the sad part. The sprinklers were broken, right? So the sprinklers were broken, so the grass wasn't greener, but the water bill was way more expensive. It happens. She didn't even water the grass. He just waited and realized the grass turned brown. Y'all are wrong. Y'all are wrong for this. So the Cartier 86 says, they will show you the door. If you even get that far. If you even get that far. That's fact. I show up once in a blue moon. Yes, but you know what? See, it's Rod Brown's strategy. He's like, I'm gonna show up once in a blue moon because I know when I do, they're really, really gonna appreciate me. And we do. Every time Rod Brown shows up, like the other day, I'm like, hey, Rod Brown, you might really want to show up to this one because we're gonna have a great conversation. You're like, I'll do what I can do. And then all of a sudden, boom, he popped up. Like, what up, Rod Brown? What up, beloved brother Rod Brown? All right. Okay. That is it for tonight. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We had a great, that article was amazing. That article was amazing. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I had a grand old time with every last one of you guys. But we gotta call it quits. We gotta call it quits. It's late. It's already, I feel like it's already 10:45. I'm going later than Rod Brown goes nowadays, right? So we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Tomorrow, the bug bite, we're gonna be looking at Uber's case, them being found liable for the SA case in Arizona. It is actually a part, it's kind of a part 2 to the video released today. So if you didn't see the video today, go check it out. Uber's Arizona lawsuit for their drivers. Are they liable for their drivers being naughty, doing very, very bad things to their riders? Very bad things to their riders. We're going to talk about that case tomorrow. Other than that, do me a big favor. Like, share, subscribe. All that good stuff. Hit the notification bell, you know, every time we go live. Join me at techcoach.dev. We're going to be having our what do you call it? Scrum night on this coming Sunday. It's already scheduled. Vibe Code and Chill next Saturday. There's going to be some clips dropping out in between. All that good stuff, right? But that is it. Thank you guys so much. Junior says great stream as usual. Appreciate it. Later, Junior. And Rod Brown says great stream. Thank you guys. And I'm feeling a little under the weather, but I had to show up. I had to show up and show out. But until next time, friends, family, Rod Brown, Junior, Cartier 82, Rise, everyone else, well, Tickle Trough, we are out.
One more thing. Price of the brick going up.
Spartans! What is your profession?
Why you looking so hard? You worried about the wrong play, man. Go look in the mirror. Dust. You on my page before you brush your teeth. You stuck in my ground while I'm in the streets. You worrying about my bag, worrying about my wins. You ain't worrying about your pockets looking paper thin. Look at you, man, musty, can't be trusted. Hating on my shine cause your whole life busted. You could be doing so much if you looked at you, but you rather look at me. That's the bum in you. You complaining about the work that I got in the vault, but you ain't willing to undo it. That's your own damn fault. I'm not sorry, I don't care, I don't feel no pity. You were climbing the suburbs, I'm the man of the city. You looking through my window with a greedy eye, instead of in the mirror asking who am I? You a hater, you a watch, you a non-starter. While I'm climbing up the charts, yeah, I'm going harder. Stop looking through my window. Go look inside your mirror. You worry about my downfall, that's why your vision ain't clear. You're dusty. Stop looking through my window. Go look inside your mirror. You could be winning too, bro, winning too, but you rather be a failure. I don't feel you, I don't see you, I don't hear you. You just a gnat in my ear, I just brush you off. You just mad cause I'm the boss and you looking soft. You ain't willing to do the work that I've done. I was up at 4 a.m., you was having fun. I was 72 hours fasting, getting my mind right. You was on the timeline, starting up a new fight, but the fight ain't with me. Man, the fight is with yourself. You could have the same damn grind, you could have the wealth, but you rather be a critic, you rather be a troll. While I'm knocking down goals at the Super Bowl, I don't feel no pity, I don't feel remorse that you chose to stay immune while I'm a damn horse. This a race and you ain't even at the starting line. Too busy drawing pictures of my finish line. Stop looking through my window. Go look inside your mirror. You worried about my downfall, that's why your vision ain't clear. Stop looking through my window. Go look inside your mirror. You could be winning too, bro, winning too, but you rather be a failure. Let's get it. My focus is on growth, my focus is on winning. My focus is on the next chapter, just beginning. I'm too busy, man, my calendar is black. I'm too busy building up, I'm too busy building stack. I'm coaching up the team, I'm on the match, I'm on the string. I'm building a new world. for you, I'm not sorry for the facts. That I'm out here running up the score to the max. I don't see you, you are invisible to me. Cause I'm everything you jealous of, I'm scared to be.
Real talk. If you took a little time and focus on your own success instead of on my damn downfall, you wouldn't be so dusty. Ha. Maybe you should try it if you wanna win, but you won't.
Get a life, man. Stop watching mine.
Go get some money.